Welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you doing tonight?
I feel fantastic. I've been feeling so positive today, looking forward to this specific show. We have 3 episodes to go through tonight, so it's going to be really, really busy. Yeah, feeling great, man. How are you doing tonight so far?
I am doing good. Still waking up, sleeping in during this summer vacation. So gotta get my cycle back on track. But I am ready to discuss all the happenings on this West Coast trip that they had this weekend that GCW had.
All right, so you want me to just get that one little piece of news out of the way and then we'll start into the shows?
Yeah, let's get it going.
All right, well, happy 25th birthday to your guy, Jordan Oliver.
Happy birthday.
Congratulations.
Yes, happy birthday, Jordan. I didn't know, I didn't even know today was his birthday. I woke up and I saw like all the messages and stuff. I'm like, oh, gotta hit him up with one of those tweets, and I got a nice little retweet, so that was nice.
Well, that's all the news I have, brother. You ready to just rock and roll? Because we have a thick show today.
Yeah, so tonight we are covering GCW's Lights Out. Hit them up, and I Cannot Feel My Face from Colorado, LA, and Phoenix. So we have, oh yeah, good one, great one. It is also Masha Slamovich's birthday too. So happy
Ooh.
birthday to Masha too. I forgot I did see that one as well. So yeah, we have a lot to cover tonight. So yeah, let's just hop right on into it.
All right. So yeah, GCW Lights Out 2024. This is GCW's debut in Denver, Colorado. The show opens with a new canvas covering the ring. In the center is a white GCW with this blue star inside the C and a border that goes from like a dark to a light blue. I think the canvas is beautiful. I'm a blue guy. Yeah. I was going to say, Brent, you probably saw it too.
I liked it all. I liked how it looked like how it kind of looked like stadium seating. Kind of reminded me of when they were in Indianapolis, and then also yeah, the ring looked giant, the bright new mat, and the blue definitely stood out. I right away I wrote cool looking venue, and like right away just from off looks, I wouldn't mind them going back to it.
Also, yeah, hello, great one. Welcome for coming in here. We have people pouring in. Yeah, we have people pouring in like crazy right now. Yeah, we're at Jefferson County Fairgrounds, and it looks and feels like one to me. The place has a great atmosphere. I have great memories at fairgrounds from the earliest of age all the way until now. There's also raised seating, which is a bonus in my mind. I kept looking at those purple posts. I'm a big fan of the color purple also, but I noticed that it was blocking the view for some of the fans, so they kind of had to go around the poles to see. Outside that, no big deal. I like the hard cam angle. I don't know if you noticed that too. And again, that's personal preference, but I liked, kind of the slope that they were at on that one.
Also,
I'm seeing a tarp hanging. Go ahead,
sorry,
brother. I think we may have a delay.
Oh, here we go. I wanted to shout out Wrestle Dads. He had the Wrestle Dads logo on the canvas. Yeah, I did wanted to shout that out as well.
Yeah, we got one of our podcast brethren out there doing it. So, yeah, it's a same thing here. Welcome, Wrestle Dads. We got we're just finding our footing and getting ourselves going for the day. Yeah, back to the quarry here. I was seeing a large tarp hanging, which means there's going to be room for expansion. More importantly, most fairground bleachers have metal everywhere, and that helps the sound bounce, creating louder noise. We could really hear this crowd, and it made for a better show. So excellent job, GoPro, in capturing the magic. Emil's sporting a Vader shirt, and he starts us off for the night.
That's funny. I was wearing the same, not the same Vader shirt. I was wearing actually a Vader shirt this weekend too. I got Disneyland for for Father's Day. That's kind of funny. Yes, first match of the night was Hunter Drake going against a returning Gino Rivera. You're muted, just so you know.
And that's the way the night starts. Hunter Drake is our face versus Mega Heat Magnet Gino Rivera. This is Gino's second time back. His first time was versus Jordan Oliver at Breaking GCW in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You can tell the Puerto Rican Pitbull's a trainer. He's a solid performer, knows where the camera is, very self-aware of his character, and a well-polished in-ring and overall. I feel like you know what you get with him, and that's a dependable heel when you need it. Hunter, I felt like he used youth and speed, and in a small way, you can see the generation gap between both styles here, between him and Gino. But Gino was right there for it all. Hunter was pulling off moves that just weren't around 10 years ago. I have Hunter with the win here with a code red on Gino for 3. I feel like both did a great job opening the show. I'm happy seeing Hunter gaining traction with GCW. And that's all I have written on that one. What are your thoughts on that match here between Hunter and Gino?
Yeah, I liked it. It was a good opener. Nice strong match from Hunter Drake. I thought you said it perfectly, and I thought it worked out perfect as Gino being the heel for Hunter Drake being the face. It was a good matchup, and I was happy with Gino Rivera the first time we saw him, and I was happy to see him back. And once again, he delivered. Yeah, he looks like one of those like local, like whenever they're on the West Coast, they could bring him in, get the nice heel heat, but also make the GCW local fan favorite, put them over pretty good and get them over. So I definitely enjoyed this match, and it was a good strong opener for the first match in Denver, Colorado. Our next matchup was a tag team match as the newly named Mother Father from Dark Sheik and Effie. I love it. I love how they said it too. Went against the team of Fuego del Sol and Sam Stackhouse. Fuego del Stack, and that's a tag team we've been asking to see in GCW when we first saw them in Phoenix, and now we get to see them again. They had a very good and strong match against Dark Sheik and Effie. I enjoyed this match as well for what it was. I was interested to see where they kind of go with Effie now, since being out of the title picture, what's going to happen with him, and it looks like they're kind of just going to put him back with Team Thrusty, Dark Sheik, and Alley Catch, and kind of let him work that way. And I don't mind it. I kind of wish they had something else for him to kind of stay busy and feud with after Mance Warner, but I don't mind seeing him go back to his friends and everyone that kind of kept him safe during this Mance Warner feud.
So when I talked to Blake Christian, he said one of the challenges of losing the championship is coming back from that and still being a viable contender or performer. You know, you don't want to fall off and just boom, you fall off. You're not getting a shot for maybe another 10 or 20 matches. What are you going to do with that time? You may even not have a storyline because you just blew off your big one. In this scenario, I feel like this is the big exhale after everything that happened between Effie and Mance, and Thrusty being so popular, of course, that Allie's not there. We have Mother Father, but equally as popular, equally as important. So naturally, I feel like he fit right back into that. Didn't have to think of another storyline. Didn't have to start from scratch whatsoever. I felt like he was able to seamlessly just move right back into that tag team position. Between you and me and a couple hundred people, I really feel like he's getting to a place like Triple H, Undertaker. And I don't mean that in this amazing way. I mean, like, when you watch The Undertaker or Triple H or Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock in tag team situations, they look like they're almost a little big for the tag team division, and sometimes I feel like that's the same way with Effie. Now, he can go wherever he wants and do whatever he wants to, and what he's doing is fantastic, but sometimes I look at him in there and I'm like, he's just too big for that ring when it comes to tag teams sometimes, and that's a compliment. I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that since then, but
no, like, I agree. As Jose saying, we need more stories. I also agree with that. Frank with the big backlash energy this weekend. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just wish it would have went with him somewhere else other than just back into the tag teams. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see where it goes from here.
So we always talk about this when you're saying, I'm not really fond of this. Do you have an idea of where you may put him? I know I'm springing this on you, but you know what I mean? We're always ones with ideas. So we don't just, is there anything you can, like, who would you put him with?
Naturally, but it leads him back into going against Jimmy Lloyd, Cardona, and the whole Deathmatch Royalty group. But then that's also a retread of just a couple years ago with Hammerstein running that back with Cardona stuff. So I don't know. I was kind of like hoping to branch off, like, where he could still fight a big heel, which is now, I guess, Blake Christian, since he's back. I just wish he would be kind of fighting somebody to, as Great One said, to be going back after and chasing that world title, and just kind of a natural progression down to get back up to where he was, instead of kind of now moving him over another column and dropping him down even more wrestling against a team that's kind of not GCW regulars and stuff. It just kind of just seems like he's put off to the side. Where I don't know, like I guess if I had to pick somebody, it'd be Blake Christian, but we could get into that later when we get into the LA stuff, where all that stuff's going to be. So but naturally, there was nowhere to go to other than Deathmatch Royalty, and I didn't want to see that happen again. So I didn't know where they were going to go with that. So I don't know. I just wish something would have been like even Charles Mason, but then once again, that's a retread. Like everything just seems like a retread, unfortunately, with Effie. And so I don't know. I don't know what new name I would like to see him kind of feud against to get back into the title scene.
We will get into this. I'm excited about something you spoke about there. I do like the idea of him going with Blake. I mean,
he never really got that
right. And we have one hell of okay. First of all, no one had on their fucking bingo card what happened on Saturday. We will definitely get back into that one a lot more later tonight. In chat, Raleigh, welcome. Frank, love you, man.
Raleigh.
Welcome, Jose. Same thing. We love you too, guys. Welcome tonight. We're gonna have a freaking blast here. So you want to get back to this match? We're squirreling already. I love it. Fuego del Stack. Oh, we're gonna have a blast tonight. Okay, so Fuego del Stack. To me, it sounds like a spicy sandwich from a fast food place. I just, that's the fat guy in me talking. That Stack name just gets me. What about Soul House? I think that's another fun little name for both of them. But that reminds me of the Waffle House. However, there's fighting there too. Never know. This is our second time seeing Fuego and Sam together. The first time was in Phoenix, Arizona versus Chris Bay and Man Like DeReese, and that match was amazing. Fuego and Sam are road buddies and get along really well. We had Sam on our podcast several episodes ago. You can find that episode on YouTube if you look. Fuego jumped in chat, and I wish we would have brought him in together that night. But we found that the Phoenix show was their first time wrestling together. So here we are. If you guys were really impressed a little bit, that was their second time together. When it comes to the match, Stackhouse was incredibly strong the entire match. Fans were chanting, Sam is going to kill you. They loved him bouncing his pecs. I'm a big fan of that too. Fuego brought serious speed, high flying, and excitement to the match. She took a beating in the first half of the match, but sold it all well. She showed a lot of personality in this one. Great storytelling by her also. A nasty lung blower on Fuego. Effie with a fresh haircut and beard trim, him and Fuego worked well together. I was laughing at Sheik passing out when Effie pulled off the spinneroonie. Emil tells Prazak, you're a limber man, Dave, when talking about Sheik's flexibility. Stackhouse was using Fuego as a weapon. There was a spot with Fuego on Sam's shoulders. Sheik kicks Fuego, which makes him hit a poison rana on Sam. No surprise, Sam was down after that. Effie had a killer shoulder tackle to break up a pin that sent Fuego flying. All four worked hard in this match, and the fans were eating it up. Mother Father wins when Effie hits a super sack rider, and she follows with a big leg drop into an assisted backdrop for Fuego 4-3. Yeah, our winners on this one ended up being Mother Father. Whoa, what are your thoughts on this busy match?
No, I kept it kind of short and sweet. It was nice to see Fuego House back as a team, as you mentioned. It was a very fun tag match where all four competitors delivered and had a nice, fun match for Colorado. I thought this was a very strong second match. And like strong tag team again with the Fuego and Stackhouse. I definitely love seeing them work together as a tag team.
I'd bring them back 100%. They're in my heart. They're in my heart right now. If they continue, I'm not going to cry.
All right, next matchup is Broski Jimmy going against I forgot they changed it. I was gonna say Very Nice Very Evil, but I forgot how Emil's been saying it. They've been switching up a little bit, but we get the one and only Danhausen going against Broski Jimmy, and I thought this was a good match. I was expecting a little bit more wrestling, I guess, during this match, but once Jimmy kind of got on the mic and got the promos, I kind of assumed I was going to eat into the match time, but I thought this was still entertaining and just wanted a little bit more from both competitors, just time-wise, I guess.
My opinion, between the movements and the speech, he's killing it on the mic. He's got Cardona down. He's even getting the same reactions from the fans. And I will say in about the last 3 to 5 shows, you can see the confidence appearing more in him. He's not out there just doing something. He's now part of that something. Jimmy needed a character to play in my mind. I think he hit the end of the he's just Jimmy era. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's just Jimmy over there. That won't make it to the next level. But I think Broski Jimmy can, of course, with some assistance by Cardona. He had this in him the whole time, though, and someone needed to point him in the right direction. Jimmy is fresh again in my mind, and he owes a lot to Cardona for that. Same with Steph DeLander. As of right now, Danhausen has an aura about him that fans love. He needs a storyline or a reason to talk, in my opinion. GCW should be encouraging him to do so because his promos and mic work is where he shines. His character has mystique with a touch of comedy. Without a mic, we could possibly lose some of his cult of personality that makes him unique. I'd rather see him put on a video promo than wrestle, honestly. I also want to see him more evil, make him more serious, give him candles in a dark room and let him work if you need to. He doesn't need a budget. He just needs a camera. His imagination is full of character. If we're doing sports entertainment more at GCW, then I recommend utilizing and entertaining characters' strengths. I feel Danhausen should be driven to show AEW how successful he could have been with the proper direction. A lot of these performers that are on the way out of these larger companies generally will have a chip on their shoulder. And this is where these chips can kind of come out, is in the work here Danhausen may be putting in at GCW. So hopefully he has that motivation to show, look, here's what I have when the training wheels are kicked off. So we're hopefully seeing some of the best Danhausen. Last time Danhausen wrestled for AEW was Ring of Honor on February 14, 2024. Since then, we've seen Danhausen 7 times at GCW. I enjoyed the hard cam zooming out when he did the curse. Thought that was kind of cool. Danhausen made Jimmy eat teeth for the 3. He ended up winning there with a quick 8-minute match. I felt this was more about personalities clashing than having a 5-star banger. At the end, Danhausen looks in the camera and says, I don't care if your old name was Dolph Ziggler. I'm coming for you. And I'm not kidding, because you know how he jokes. Do you think that's Nemeth, or do you think that's him fucking up Cardona for fun?
So I missed that. And right away, my first time reading that, I was like I thought it was like making fun of Cardona, but now since I didn't see it, I have no idea like of context if like maybe he was trying to call out Nemeth for a GCW show. I don't know, but I totally missed that part and didn't catch that. But I don't know, just assuming his character, I just assume Cardona because it makes sense since we see him in GCW and with the Broski Jimmy stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing Danhausen and Cardona going back at it again. I think they wrestled in GCW a while ago, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but not a long time ago, but like one of Danhausen's before Matt Cardona got hurt. So I definitely wouldn't mind seeing how Danhausen kind of fucks with Deathmatch Royalty. That'd be a fun sequences that they could put together.
And I'm just asking your opinion. I just want to hear what you kind of think. On my thoughts of having him do more promos than wrestle. You've watched him in AEW and whatnot. What do you think about that situation? Like percentage wise, would it be 50% wrestling, 50 promo? Would it be 25 promo, 75% wrestling? How would you utilize the Danhausen character? Just like,
I would cut his videos kind of like how he's been doing a little bit online, cut some promo videos, and then matchup comes, just turn on the evil side, the actual wrestling side, and perform that way. That's how I think I enjoy Danhausen. That doesn't go just for him. That goes for any independent wrestler. You got the whole week to build up the match. Cut a promo, cut something, get us hyped during the week, and then when it comes bell time, let us see it in the ring. And that's how what I always want from Danhausen. But like I said, that kind of goes for any independent wrestler. I wouldn't mind seeing a lot more of that being done throughout all of independent wrestling, and not even independent wrestling, just regular wrestling shit. They don't perform once a week either. Do something else throughout the week. Like it gets me like it's cool on a Wednesday to see something that's going to happen on a Friday or Saturday, and it gets me like hype and motivated. I always go back. I think we talked with Wrestle Dads about like the Leo Russian Speedball, like them just cutting promos on each other at Walmarts and in bed at 2:00 in the morning in Japan. Yep. Like that was fun and just spontaneous, and that was there. And that for me got me actually motivated to go out and watch that match live at 2 or 3 in the morning in Japan. But I just think it gets investment there, gets the promo that you don't get probably in camera time. You always have camera time on your own social media, cut it, and then in ring time, show off your in-ring skills. And I don't know, that's just how I kind of view wrestling now.
No, I agree with you on all of that here. I'm gonna get back over to the listeners here. Frank says big backlash energy this weekend. 100% agree. Also, let's see who else we have. Jose. Yes, we need more stories. I'm not going to lie on that one here. What else do we have? I agree. Effie's singles run is needed. Yeah, we're just catching up on chat. So I wanted to, Effie needs to be chasing that world title from Great One. Yeah, we're definitely talking about that one here real soon.
Right when we went live too, they announced the damn LA show in August. I'm like, fuck, wait an extra week. They announced tickets go on sale this Friday for August 17th. And I am going to that LA show. I just wish tickets would go on sale this Friday. Next Friday would have been better.
I'm still indecision. I'm still trying to get all my things figured out. Maybe we'll see. Let's see what else we have here. DJ Luda, we need Stackhouse versus Ace Romero. I wonder if that one's happened. If it hasn't, that would be an interesting match for, I think, given Ace, maybe a JCW match, I think would be a great place for that one. Let's see what else we have here. Frank says Broski Jimmy was, in my opinion, looped around from being terrible to being great. 100% on that one, Frank. I agree on that one here. DJ Luda, Jimmy has been killing his role. I popped hard when he used the gimmick out of GCW. 100%. Let's see here. Big Danhausen fan from Wrestle Dads. I agree with John. Evil Danhausen would be great for GCW. So and I will say this because I love it. Well said, B. That was okay. Back to it here. I just wanted to make sure that we, covered the listeners because you and I, when we get on a roll, man, we get on a roll. All right.
All right, our next matchup from GCW Lights Out in Denver is Joey Janela going against JKM. And I was kind of shocked, but hopeful and excited to see what JKM could do with this ginormous opportunity here, having a singles match against Joey Janela on his second or third GCW show. So, yeah, I was excited. JKM looked like he killed it when we first saw him. He looked very explosive and exciting as a wrestler. And now in a one-on-one match against Joey, I was interested to see how he would step up. And he, in my opinion, delivered. For it being a nice shorter Joey Janela match, not the 20 minutes that we're normally seeing. I still think it hit all the Joey notes that it normally does, while also making JKM look good, but also finishing up so that way Joey could move on to his bigger goal in mind at the end of this match. I enjoyed everything that this match did for both competitors.
I'm going to go through my review on this match, but I have something in here I want your opinion on. So once we get to it, I want to stop and see what you have to say, disagree or agree. So JKM was out first, local performer. I feel he represented local Denver wrestling quite well. He's very agile and quick. Joey was out next. Hopefully his back's better. I wouldn't want to see him re-aggravate his back on a local enhancement match, so to speak. Joey's traps and shoulders were looking fantastic. Maybe he has a new gym partner. Whatever it is, it's working. This match was exciting, and JKM was unexpectedly better than the average local, I would say. This is where I wanted your opinion. There's an atmosphere of specific GCW performers that should probably slow down on wrestling local wrestlers. I feel it's a raised risk that can be avoided. Imagine losing a big GCW name with a storyline because we had to put over, Frog Boy the Great hailing out of Alabama, Mississippi or something. That's something I was thinking about that I wanted to ask you, because most local performers are less trained, and putting our bigger, money performers in the ring only helps the local and not the star who's putting his neck or back on the line. I feel it's a good gesture, but consider my ignorant opinion here. Without naming names, we have mid-carders that could boost those locals instead. So I wanted to stop there and just see what you think, because for me, that's more opinionated and hardline than I've been in a while. But I was thinking about that, where we have Joey, who from the minute I've met him until now has been having terrible back issues. And I'm like, does he really need to lose possibly a title run or larger amounts of money because he injures himself on, Bat Boy?
Well, I don't mind. I don't know. I think it's, for me, situation like this one, I don't mind. Yeah, Joey is a way bigger name than, as you said, I maybe would have thrown a JKM in a singles match for. But I could see Joey like, hey, that kid looks good. Let me just do something with him for a little bit. Give him a little push, give him a little rub. And then, like I said, this wasn't the 20 minutes. It was a quick 10-minute one. They didn't go crazy with the doors as Joey normally does. They don't go crazy outside. He kind of kept it reasonable for a Joey match and let JKM get his stuff in. I don't know. I think in wrestling that can happen against anybody. So I always feel injuries, and I get what you're saying. Yeah, it makes this statistically makes more sense that less trained person is the opportunities for an injury are going to happen more. But I think it's wrestling. I think they kind of know what they're doing for the most part and stuff. I don't know. Like I kind of was thinking literally kind of thinking the same thing a little bit what you said. Like when Jordan had his backyard wrestling show against Hunter Drake, and like in the first minute, they're doing the suplex from the inside to the outside in front of 50 fans in a backyard. I'm like, what the fuck? So like,
yeah.
I enjoy that we get moments like that. They're like, they don't care. They're going to go out there and just do whatever they can for as best for their craft. But I get the injury part as well. And like, yeah, with Joey being in the storyline, in my situation, I don't know. This one's kind of like 50-50. If you would then like any other name out other than Joey, I wouldn't have mind because as you said, they're not in our stories that we want to see for a while. So yeah, this would have been a different I don't know. It could be different. To me, it's just situationally. I don't know.
I just had to hit you with that one because that's a nice curveball where I usually don't go too hardline, but if I put the owner hat on, I'm like, we want to preserve our best for as long as possible. So it's risk versus reward.
And I think you know what I mean? Like, what kind of match they're going to put up to first. Like, hey, you're not going to go out there and do these crazy ass spots. Like, this is just a match to kind of get you over in a bigger name against Joey. We're not going to have you out there doing 450s to the outside on concrete floor with Joey out there. Like, I think they know situationally too, and what kind of matches they put together, what they're doing to kind of keep it more safe in a way. I think that's what played out. Like Joey's like, hey, I want to do this name. Brett maybe is like, hey, like watch it. Like we'll give you this match and put over this name, but we got stuff for you after this match. So be careful. And Joey's like, okay, so that's why let's keep it shorter and let's go less crazy with it. And so I think that's where I put it up into the performer's hand, but I do understand. I put the booker's hat on too. And I'm like, damn, if something were to happen, we could absolutely crush this right now too. So
yeah, we can't have two GMs, guys.
Right.
Maybe we can, but we can't have great one here, making sure we do this honestly. Joey's big injury in GCW came in a match against the legendary Psychosis. And yeah, definitely not a local guy. I'm just looking at mitigation of any type of risk whatsoever. So yeah, funny thing, when Psychosis came to Las Vegas, that's the first time I had a chance to see him, and I beelined to him with my best broken Spanish and English, and it's like, dude, I've been watching you since the early 90s, and anyway, it was a quick meeting because we couldn't say too much together, but it was more of a give respect kind of thing. All right, back to Joey Janela versus JKM. Joey with a super kick and a top rope double stomp for the win. I'm wondering if that's technically an avalanche double stomp. I mean, technically it is, right? But
I don't think so because he's not holding on to him. I think that's when it becomes an avalanche.
Good point.
Because you don't
maybe
do
needs to start holding on. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Okay, great point. You just blew my shit out of the water. That's smart. I never thought of it like that. Joey grabs a mic, cuts a promo on having and losing the title so quickly. He blames Cardona for robbing him of his GCW world title run. Joey vows that in LA, things are going to get ugly, and that was definitely the truth. Then we go on here. Emil announces Rocky Mountain Pros announcer Arius. I believe, I am so sorry if I get that name wrong, because he has a great voice. He did a great job. I would use him in any promotion in a heartbeat. He has that, I don't want to say timbre, but he has this color to his voice that makes him sound quite professional, and it almost seems natural to him. It just, he sounds natural.
I enjoyed the energy. The energy was what for me, what got me.
It's like J Rose. It's just got that fucking energy to him that you can't beat down with a stick.
That's exactly my first thought I went to was J Rose and how I miss J Rose and the energy that he brought and just kind of the feeling that he did as a ring announcer. It was something different. All right, our next match is a 8-person tag match, as it is a team of Braden Toon, Bruce Wayans, Dorian Maddox, Jeffrey John going against Dave Cole, Joey Casanova, Ocean Avery, and Manny Lemons. I didn't have much notes for these because it was a quick match and I didn't know it. Any of these names had like 2 or 3 of them. So I enjoyed seeing new, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I enjoy seeing new talent in the Colorado area. Like that was a good showcase match. Wasn't the scramble match. It was similar to it. They just made an 8-person tag match, but I enjoyed being able to see all these new names and them to get that opportunity in Denver, because that's how it starts for a lot of these people. And now we see them all over the place in GCW. So I was glad to see this match happen. I just didn't have much notes for him because I didn't know any moves, competitors, what to expect. So what I saw, though, I enjoyed. Like the wrote here, the Colorado independent scene seems to be doing pretty good. They got some good names out there with good size and great athleticism, and hope to see a little bit more and learn about them more in the future.
Okay, so my notes, of course, like yours, were somewhat short. This was a 6.5-minute match, so I'm not going to lie. You have to pull from only so much. And given that there were 6 men, 6.5 minutes, there's not a lot of time for each man to shine. Here were my notes on each person. I have the name Manila Ice. Johnny Casanova had me laughing. Ocean Avery stuck out. He has a tough man look. I've seen Manny Lemons multiple times. I think he's a fucking blast. Watching him bite into a lemon and throw it out into the crowd or whatnot, it's just, man, biting into a lemon ain't easy. I'll just say that much. Maddox had impressive size. He is a believable beast if he reaches his full potential. Bruce Wayans was way over with the chop. One benefit of the chop, it's easy to learn. Jeffrey John wrapped up Dave Cole for the win here. I felt like, just like you said, it was a good representation of the local Denver scene. So yeah, that was our winner. Again, 6.5 minutes. That's what both of us pulled from it. Just a couple quick notes. And yeah, if this was a 10-minute match, we might have more on it, but that's just what I have. What are your thoughts? Anything else on this one? That quick little, yeah, me too, man.
Yep, that's why I kind of had it nice and short. Next match was Zilla Fatu versus Cole Radrick. At this one, I was very much looking forward to seeing Zilla in another big names singles match so early in his career. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I didn't know what that was either, so kind of out of nowhere. And I was nice to see Cole have this match against this big name that's kind of just shooting up the independent wrestling scene against Zilla. And I wanted to see how stylistically they would go at it. I thought this would be an interesting matchup just based off of their styles, and Cole kind of having to get a little bit more physical than he's had to have late. This is the kind of a different opponent for him, and Zilla stepped up. Zilla is impressive. I know they mention it every time on commentary. We mention it every time here, and Brett's now mentioning it every match. Like that's his 11th, 12th, 13th match, and he's just having banger after banger in GCW. And I feel so, once again, lucky as a GCW fan. We get to see all their early matches and see them grow right in front of our eyes. It's been fun to see with Zilla and Cole, and this was another very fun match between both of them.
I'm going to jump back just for a moment, only because of Great One's message. Dave Cole, we mentioned so little. He was getting to wrestle in the canvas he created on his first show. I did not know that. Again, thank you, Great One, for posting that. Wrestle Dads, Zilla Fatu. Yes, huge fan. We're going to get into that one right now. Did you start the announcement on that one, Brant? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Cole. You're good.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Zilla and Cole Radrick. Cole comes out with the brass ring around his neck. Prazak mentions that it's still Cole's to use. I'm jealous of the number 33 Indiana University Larry Bird jersey that Cole had on. I don't know if you saw that or not. It had that beautiful, like, light blue. Oh, dude, it's like the North Carolina Tar Heels blue. Good looking, baby blue. The main one, Zilla, looks great. This is his 12th career match. I think they also talk about that a little bit because as good as Zilla's doing right now, it's far beyond where he should be. And I think that's the best way to put it. Again, a sprinkling of Jacob in the beginning, I think, is the true blessing as to why Zilla's working so well now. We'll get into that more later. Cole started hot, went outside immediately. It was a street fight style match going down early. Doors came out halfway through the match. Zilla had a fan help him with the door. It really made the fans' day. I like that idea of doing that too. But yeah, Zilla goes head first through a door. The second door was broken when Zilla hit a beautiful Uranagi slam, sending Cole through the door back first. The third door was busted when Cole hit a spine buster through the door. Zilla wins with a Samoan spike to the throat. And the only thing I can say here is, yeah, Zilla's on a roll. This match went for 9 minutes. For someone who's still in their teens in matches, a 9-minute match is stellar. And again, he was in Cole Radrick's hands, and they both did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I was actually kind of stunned to see Zilla get the win, considering Cole has that brass ring. He's kind of holding on to it. I thought he would kind of pick up a little bit more momentum as a singles competitor to kind of tease that threat of cashing it in, but it seems like they're getting all the momentum as tag teams with Alec Price, and I'm still interested in where that goes. That's going to be fun to talk about after everything kind of happens in the world title scene. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with Cole Radrick and the brass ring still.
Should we hold off on that until later in the show, or talk about that for a second? What do you want to do on that one? I got a mouthful of words on that one.
I just don't know. Like with the tag titles, I wouldn't mind seeing them kind of do that, but they could also kind of tease that Cole wants to use it as a wants to become GCW World Champion. Alec Price kind of doesn't take that too good, and I could kind of see them causing tension, and that kind of turns into some sort of feud.
No,
whenever or before. I don't know. My
heart can't take that, bro. My heart can't.
I know. I right now would probably book them as stronger challengers for VIF, just because, and start building like more of a feud and kind of get VIF to start acknowledging them, because right now, just to kind of announce that match and throw it together just wouldn't be a lot of heat behind it. I think I would get a lot of fans, me included, to get even more emotionally invested into what that tag team and possible tag title change could possibly happen.
We'll let that slide for right
now. All right, our next matchup was the man here to finish his story this weekend. Man like Darius going against Alley Catch, and I enjoyed this match for what it was. This was a big weekend for a man like Darius. He had a big story to finish. He told it well, and this was a good prelude to what would happen the next night. And I thought that was a good purpose of this match, to set up what's going to happen the next night. And that's where this match kind of just did its story, did what it was meant to do, in my opinion. And I enjoyed Alley Catch's work in this to make it even more entertaining and fun for man like Darius.
This was man like Darius's coming out party last weekend. I felt like a lot of things circled around him, and he shined. His personality came through. I feel like I know him more, you know how much you know, but I feel like I know him more from this past weekend than from all the other weekends combined, and that's including Collective. So this is where, again, storyline, sports entertainment can really make the connection with the fans. I won't go too far into that, but yeah, Brett jumps on commentary. I was laughing at Darius riding Alley Catch around the ring. Prazak's quote regarding the back: "It's the backiest part of the body." Thank you, Dave Prazak. Brett was correcting Prazak on the proper way to say suplex. It's actually suplex. How much do you know about that, Brent? Did you know it's called a suplex, not a suplex? We've talked about this before.
So that part I knew.
So any fans out there that wanted to know, it's actually a suplex, not a suplex. This is something that was originally said by Gordon Soley back in the day. It's French. However, when you're talking about wrestling, what sounds cooler and more hard-hitting? A suplex or a suplex? So it just makes more sense. You know, it's got the X in there. It sounds cool. Allie was on her game physically and mentally. She was getting the edge over man like Darius. She surprised everyone when she had Effie's daddy tights on. Darius caught Allie by surprise and rolled her up for 3. Again, I felt like this one was on the quicker side, 8 minutes and 43 seconds. What do you think on this one?
I like the Alley Catch having Effie's on underneath was fun. That was a fun little tweak to it. But I kind of have this here, like Frank says, man like Darius has crossed the foreign outsider to regular line. We've been asking for that since day one. He has been used a lot more, and selfishly, I want to see him a lot more often. I just think he has right now, as you said, John. For me, Collective Weekend, just an in-ring performance was his big coming out party, but also started to showcase what he could do personality-wise. This weekend, definitely the personality came out. His story was finished, as we'll get to later, but I think he showed, to go along with the great in-ring work he showed at Collective, everything he did during this weekend was awesome. And yeah, a regular, I think he would be awesome. I see him after this weekend being picked up soon by someone pretty big of one of these bigger companies, because like he just has that bubbly personality. He's so good in the ring. He's got the look. He's got the it factor. And this weekend made me just like think about that, and just like I want to see him a lot more now before he gets picked up, because he's delivered and entertained in whatever way and match and like style you want to do, a comedy, a great in-ring, technical, high flying, like he does it all, and he's excelled at everything he's showcased in GCW, and this weekend was just another notch underneath that belt for him.
Ali Catch did well for not having any gear at the show. Also a good point. Yeah, there was a lot of struggle. If you looked on X there was a lot of performers that were having issues with getting their gear. Shit was in another city. They made it work somehow. You know how it is. It's just, if we don't have it, then damn it, we're going to improvise. So yeah, I'm sold on Man Like Darius, and I know that the side effect of that, if he was brought over more, would be a full acceptance of Leon Slater, which is what we wanted. We wanted boisterous behavior over here in one way or another. And fast forward 1 year, here we are.
Yeah, they were like one of the first day oneers we saw, especially out in the UK and not outside the US. We're like, please bring them back. And anytime Man Like Darius has been here, he's killed it. And yeah, I want to see him become even more of a regular. I want to see him like literally on every show. That's how much I've been enjoying him. And all right, this leads us into the main event of GCW's Light Out, as it is the GCW World Title match. The champion, Mance Warner, defending it against Jordan Oliver, the birthday boy today. All right, before we even get into this match, man.
Oh, shit.
I did some complaining about it last episode. My wife didn't listen to my last episode I was on. So 2 weeks
ago.
Wait,
your wife didn't listen to you?
She didn't listen to it.
Married couples don't listen to each other.
She doesn't, like I said before, doesn't follow wrestling as much as we do, knows a little bit about it. I told her Jordan was getting the title match against Mance Warner. She was excited. And then I told her before the match started, they announced Jordan Oliver going against Jimmy Lloyd. And she was like, oh, so Jordan's not going to win. You're telling a non-wrestling GCW like person that they could easily put the dots together. Oh, Jordan's wrestling against Broski Jimmy the next night. So we know he's not winning the title match. So why even have it the night before? It's like, oh, I don't know.
I get what you're saying. You're saying that
someone from outside of us is having the same.
They're coming to the same conclusion.
Exactly. That we that know this stuff, that talk about it all the time, can't come to real easily. You're telling now all these outside fans, and yeah, I just had to bring that up because I wasn't into this match. I knew it'd be a good match. I was hoping they'd make Jordan look strong, somehow bring him into the title scene, chase after Mance Warner. I don't know, but I wasn't into this match. I know I said it before, and yeah, even my wife, telling her beforehand, a non-wrestling fan. So I that goes back. I bitched about it before during the Blake whole
yeah.
Even before, just not even Blake, just any champion. When you announce like their next 3 title defenses, you either are telling the fans what's going to happen the next night, or if some shit hits the fan, you have told us now, okay, yeah, well, the people that were going to get the next title shot, the champions lost, so they don't get the next match, and somebody else randomly now will get it. And so now you ruined the next booking for that show as well. So I don't know. It just goes back to the pre-announcement of championship defenses and kind of ruined the whole vibe for me going into this match. But yeah, I just had to bring up that even my wife, who, like I said, a non-really wrestling fan, is being told and coming to the conclusion that she's being told by GCW that Jordan's not winning this match. And so she didn't even really want to watch or care about this match.
So is your proposal then, because I'm trying to figure out a way to fix this to where, I'm guessing the best way to do it would be to show a graphic of, say, Jordan Oliver a week ahead of time and say, Friday night, Jordan Oliver gets his shot at the GCW world title. No other person, no challenger. I mean, no champion in the picture. It just shows Jordan Oliver. And then the next night, It just shows a picture of Masha, and it says Saturday night, Masha gets a shot at the GCW. You know what I mean? It doesn't show the champion. Is that what you're thinking? Maybe that would be more
like show, hey, Jordan versus Jimmy the next night. If Jordan wins, Jordan versus Jimmy will be for the belt. Right. Or show like show Mance Warner's going to be there. Like Mance Warner scheduled to appear and scheduled to be in action in GCW. People are going to show up for that. You don't need to announce Mance Warner versus Jordan and then like then 2 nights for the next night Joey versus Mance. Like you could just promote it a lot better. Like without giving away what's going to happen the night before. Like Mance Warner defending, if he wins, he's going to be defending the belt. Like just, I don't know, make it some sort of announcement to, or as like, here we go. This is what I was saying. Or have the balls to do like what Frank's about to say right here. Pull the trigger. Do a shock title swap. Like that's what I was really, really hoping for with all my bitching a couple of weeks ago going into this night was like, let's have them kind of swerve us somehow, some way. Make Jordan win the title, like in a some sort of as like Dusty sort of finish. And oh, he won. And then wait a minute, Cardona comes out or Jimmy comes out. No, like, hey, that's not what we're doing here, GCW. It's a new title, new scene. Boom. Now you got the fans shocked that the title change actually happened, and then you put it back on Mance Warner. Like, I don't know. Just there was for me going into this, I was just like, oh, it's going to be it's going to be a match. Mance Warner's going to win, and I'm not excited for it. Like there was just everything was ruined for me, but I don't know. That's just how I felt going into this match.
I'm assuming there's a WWE way because the WWE way has to book out months in advance also. If we look that up, I don't know how they actually do that. Did they just say the champion's scheduled to appear?
Well, they like
on house shows.
Well, they won't announce the match until like the next. Like I don't like. I get why you had to do it. This one, like you have to get people to Colorado for the first time, but don't announce LA Jordan versus Joey versus Mance. Announce Joey versus the winner of Mance versus Jordan for the world title. Do it that way where, hey, maybe like they didn't want to announce Mance. Why didn't they want to announce Mance? Maybe Jordan will win in Colorado. Like we don't know who's going to face Joey for the next title defense. So that's how you could easily promote the world title in LA the next night with, we don't know who's going to be the champion. And that even throws now just more confusion and like what's going to happen now versus with Mance versus Jordan. It doesn't give away the ending of the night prior is what I'm guessing. I guess what I'm trying to say. I fully expected when they announced Broski versus Jordan in LA, I fully expected Broski getting involved in this match. Now you ruined 2 shows and 2 matches because you gave it away. But we didn't really get that in this match. So that kind of nullifies that where I was going with that.
So yeah, the argument would be in this case though, how would you promote your main event for your card? Like, how would you promote the main show on your card then?
For so LA, you got Joey versus world title match. Winner of Mance Warner versus Jordan versus Joey. Like you got Joey in a world title match. That's going to get people involved. Like now if against Jordan, that oh shit, Jordan's a new champion. What's going to happen? Like what's going to be his first title defense? You got Mance. Okay. He beat Jordan the night before. People are going to show up for that. Where I don't like it's harder when you got the title defenses like that back to back. Now, let's say it was this week. It was some person. Now Mance Warner wins, and then now for the next week, now you can start this week promoting. Get those late ticket sales now. If Mance Warner versus whoever, I don't know. I just feel like it's happened too much, and now like it just was shocking to me that a non-wrestling fan like is he able to catch on to it so easily and quickly, and it just kind of ruined for me this main event and kind of just like skipping over the fact that Jordan's even getting a title shot. Let's just focus on Joey versus Mance. So, and we talked about that with Tony, when Tony versus Blake with like Blake Christians, all those title matches. It just not a one-time kind of thing. It's happened often and I don't like it.
Says the Bizzard, title changes are so badass. My problem with wrestling today, tired of everyone having 6 months run. I'm guessing maybe that's down to variety. People want maybe more variety. And also it was mentioned here by Frank. He agrees they treat them as victory laps almost now. That's probably out of my wheelhouse. So I don't know what you have as an opinion on that one, Brant, at all. I didn't know.
I don't mind short defenses because it keeps it keeps people on their shows, as Frank said earlier, that shock title swap like that. Those are always so awesome because you never fucking expect it. And unless you have a story that you know you're going to tell over these next 3, 4, 5 months, like that's always been my problem. It just seems like they just throw random challengers to challenge for belts instead of building up easy and sensible, like building up stars. Like and with somebody getting a short title reign, it still helps them out because you could still say former GCW world title holder. You don't have to say it was for one night. Like that's kind of, I was wondering what was going to happen with that gauntlet. Are they going to acknowledge Jimmy? Are they going to acknowledge
No,
Nick and all
they
these
shouldn't.
people? Yeah, but they didn't. They flat out said they're not going to. Like it was in a gauntlet style match. So I was like, okay, I don't mind that. But like if they were to win those, just for those 3 seconds, you can still always have that former world title holder over their name, and that's going to elevate them. And so that's how I don't mind short title reigns, because it just keeps everyone on their toes. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. It makes sense. It doesn't matter the time. Like Blake's did not need to be dragged out 9 months with all these random people. Now, if it was 9 months and building up towards a Joey, building up towards a Mance, building up towards an FE, all those defenses, I think his title run would have been way more memorable than just randomized. It just get fans invested in stories and build up new stars, and that could be with title belts or non-title belts.
All right, so we have something going on in discussion that's worth talking about, because we have a conflict. We have two people that think different ways, and it's very interesting. I'm with Frank. Joey versus the champ works just as much as Joey versus, you know what I mean? That's why I was saying, if you just put one person on the graphic and say this person gets their shot that night, that's still selling the main event. Then we had, where is it at here? Great one. He said it's a title defense if Mance Warner is still the champion. So he kind of has a feeling like I'm trying to put it in better words here.
So for me, here's they got that one, but I always go back to East West Express when they were supposed to challenge, what's their names? Bussy. They're supposed to challenge Bussy for the tag belts, but Team Bussy lost the tag belts the night before to Los Macizos. Correct. So now Jordan's for me, that next night should have been East West Express versus the new champions. Switch that match, make it now since they're supposed to challenge for the belts the next night, make them challenge for the belts against just new champions. So it should have been East West versus Macizos, and now Bussy, since they lost the belt the night before, they lost the match. They got to figure something out now. Do something because when you book something like that, now instead they put East West Express versus Bussy. Now you screwed East West Express for no reason, even during the match. Yeah, even during the match, Jordan's like, "Thanks, guys, you fucked that up. Now this match is going to happen for no belts." I don't know.
Interesting concept. Yeah, there's various ways to do it. I think my fix would be like we were talking. I would put the person on a thing and say they get their shot, and then if the person deserves the title shot, he deserves the title shot. It doesn't matter if the champion is this person or this person. An earned title shot is that. That's very interesting. Yeah, Frank and Great one in here having a good talk. Awesome, guys. I love it. All right. So on to this Mance. Did you announce the GCW World Title match officially or no?
That's why
you did.
My 15 high horse.
No, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I love it. Okay, the current GCW World Champion and former GCW Tag Team Champion Mance Warner will take on the former JCW Champion and former GCW Tag Team Champion in Jordan Oliver. Janela joins commentary. Brett has now left. Joey's opening line: ever since Mance Warner's been shoving his cock in Steph DeLander, he's become a very sour individual. And I am not like the guy that we all knew at all. I don't like him. And she's a bitch. So Brett and Joey were on the mic, remind us how much personality there is at GCW. This is a personality games, and their personalities we enjoy. I really do hope, like we said, I think a couple of shows ago, more of our talent on the microphone is lovely. And Dave Prazak is such a good commentator. He does so well at his job. It doesn't matter who is with. He can steer that ship easily. All right, back to what we were doing here. Warner cuts a great promo mentioning Oliver's heroes like Jimmy Rave and Trent Acid. Mance then says his heroes are Kevin Nash and Eric Bischoff. But the difference here is Mance's heroes drew money. Oliver's didn't. That was pretty insane. His are alive and Oliver's are dead, which was pretty insane. And he said, in heaven, they'll watch him beat Oliver's ass, which is, you know what? That's some wrestling shit right there. You know, go ahead. I see it.
That was awesome. That was Mance Warner promo 101. That was awesome. That was a great start to this title shot. Even during this match, his little facial reactions, like when Jordan was hulking up and Mance is like, he's like, yeah. He's like, oh no, wait, like how cartoony it was and old school it was. Like Mance Warner's taking this old school wrestling and putting it in 2024 in a fantastic way. And it was awesome. That promo, I was just like, oh, like when he dropped that, like all years are dead. I was like, oh shit, like that got me back into the match. Like Jordan's gonna beat his ass. Like I ain't gonna lie, like I was like, Jordan gotta whoop his ass now. Like that's a line you cross there. But that was a great champion heel promo, especially your first one as champion. Mance Warner, bravo. That was awesome.
So Mance has introduced a chair to the match. This is a very important part. He was beating on Oliver's leg. That's Mance's body part of choice for the night. I don't know what went on, but the attack on that leg affected Jordan for the rest of the weekend. So he either sold it well or he has a legit injury there, because it really did make it difficult for Jordan to do what he was supposed to do out there. Mance was throwing water at a fan. He was stopping a promo to insult another fan. He's starting to throw people's shit. And I feel those are examples that show a volatility to his character that feels dangerous and unpredictable if you're watching from a fan's perspective. Oliver's Hogan style Hulk up and power bombs Mance through a door bridge. One fan clearly yells, "Make him fucking bleed," which I thought was a fantastic thing to hear, clear as day. Oliver was primarily semi-dead throughout the match. The selling of the leg injury was so heavy, there wasn't much chance of offense. There were sparks, it just wasn't as much as it should be. Whatever he did looked good. He also was the one who bled first. Mance in this match in 17 minutes retains with an implant DDT. Back to you, Brant. Oh, you're muted. Yep, you've been shut down.
I was trying to mute myself from cussing out again. No, that's what I expected. I was expecting Jimmy Lloyd to come in and kind of further push the story with Mance being with Deathmatch Royalty. But I'm kind of glad they didn't get involved. This kind of leaves Mance kind of on his own without Deathmatch Royalty, even though they were there. I would kind of like to see how that kind of plays out and what goes on with those two entities. But yeah, that's kind of what I expected. And yeah, unfortunately, Jordan couldn't, as you said, like Jordan couldn't even really get into the match. Like that was kind of like also my thing too, which was fine. It's all the old school, slower paced, heel Mance working the body part, taking Jordan out, and that takes the fans out of it. And it did its job. It took me out of the match. But yeah, and as you are about to say too, I think it was a good thing that happened at the end to head into the next night.
Yeah, Mance was beating on Oliver after the match. Joey runs in, and we have a nice build leading into the next show in LA. Joey then, runs off Mance. He's swearing he's going to kill him. And again, this is totally sports entertainment stuff right here. And again, easy. I like a good sell. You know, it's a nice build. Simple. Correct. And that's a way to sell tickets.
And I think Jordan, as you were kind of saying, if he was selling the leg injury, if it really was, I'm hoping on the selling part, because also that's a good job of Jordan selling the injury, kind of, and that just bleeds over into the next nights, next shows, and it bleeds into other stuff, which is good. It doesn't just stop at the end of this match and then we act like nothing happened the next night. I enjoyed the selling as well from Jordan. All right, that will lead us into our main event, as it is a death match, as Nick Gage goes against a returning Orin Veidt. And to actually see the fuckery, the glass, and the mat covered in this venue, I was sold on it even more now. They're going to let us do death matches in this nice venue. I'm in. It looked good. It was nice to see Orin back. He delivered. He went through. It was nice to see bloodshed again, even though it was like no sense that this should be a main event other than it being a death match and like save it for the end. But like these two don't have a history. They don't have any feud going on, but just give us the fucking violence, and then shit, like it was awesome. Like it was this was like a good after TOS death match, which was kind of like I was afraid after TOS we won't see another death match, especially seeing all the venues and locations coming up. I thought we weren't going to see a death match till Japan, so it was, I enjoyed this random put together match, and both delivered. The violence was there, and I was happy that this was. I wasn't happy this main evented. I get why I main evented, but I was just happy to see a death match in this venue, and I'm stoked, and hopefully they're able to go back and do more death matches next time they go to this venue, because then now we can start getting into this death match, bringing death match back into GCW a little bit more often.
If anything, just bringing it in with quality. You know, between Orin and Nick Gage, there's good quality there, and it's well known that Nick Gage doesn't like just having a death match. He likes to have a little bit, of a story with his death match. So we go from black and back into the ring, and the canvas is gone. We have glass laying everywhere. Orin looks happy to be back after 2.5 long years. Welcome back, Orin Veidt. Gage dumps a bucket of glass all over himself, and I felt like we were finally having a good old-fashioned fucking death match. A huge hill of glass is in the center of the ring now, and then he grabs a gusset and directly pounds it into Orin's chest. Gage grabs a staple gun, staples Orin's hand. I'm hearing a chant, use that chair. I'm trying to figure out what the hell they're talking about. A fan then brings up a chair that has MDK written on it, and the whole front is just covered in glass. Gage then grabs it and throws the chair into Orin's face. They were fighting into the bleachers. Veidt ended up being thrown out of the bleachers and onto a huge door bridge below. Gage with a falcon arrow. Orin somehow kicked out of that. Gage finds a tack sack. It's a bag of tacks and a weed whacker. Orin gets fucking shredded. I just now see a bag of lemons. I didn't know if those were going to get used. Nick hits a jumping pile driver for 3 in a very, very bloody match. My wrap up on this, a very fun death match with a good story. It was fun seeing Gage step up the violence for Orin. There was a good variety of weapons, and I always pop for the weed whacker. This felt like an old-fashioned GCW death match, and it just felt good to watch. That's my story.
I'm right there with you. I fixed it first. No, you said everything I was kind of saying too. Like I enjoyed it. It felt this is what we needed after TOS. Don't let the death matches kind of die. Let it kind of bring it back here every once in a while. Yeah, Frank, that felt like a How match. The weed whacker. Yeah, I'm a big person. Like same thing when I see the weed whacker as you did. I was like, holy shit, they're getting the weed whacker on this match. Like I haven't like. When I think of the weed whacker spot, I always go to Jimmy versus G Raver and how G Raver used it to make Jimmy say I quit. And I seeing a death match in this venue was a shock. Seeing as much glass used was a shock, but even the weed whacker was even a more shock. And I was happy. I was very happy to see this end. As you said, it made it feel like an old school. Like if this would happen in the middle of the card, I'd have been just as happy as I would have been at the end. I get why, like as the great one said, I was saying you got to have it at the end with all the matches and stuff. But it just felt like an old school GCW. Like let's having just a random ass death match, no story. Let's just have 2 people go in and cause violence and give the bloodthirsty fans what they want, and that's what it did, and it delivered, dude. And I thought it was a cool way to also, if it as a main event, to send the Denver fans home, because that's going to be the last thing stuck in their memory. They're going to be wanting to come back to the next time they come there, and hopefully they go back there soon. Like I said, I'm happy with that venue in place. It was awesome. The crowd was nice. Everything looked really good there. I like the venue, being a venue person myself.
So I'm just going to mention it now. Where was it? I can't remember where it was that had the same kind of a feel of that venue. Was it in Chicago?
For me, it was Indianapolis. I think it was like the Indianapolis Fairgrounds where they ran during COVID, the collective.
Oh,
for me, possibly. That's what it was, except like the venue, except like the hard cam was not facing the entrance area. To me, that's what it like, because it was in like that one area, like they just had the up seating or whatever called.
Yeah,
as Frank's in Indiana. For me, that's what it felt like. Indiana could be. I don't know. You could be thinking of Chicago or something, but for me, it was in Indiana.
Yeah, I'm a fucking dumbass, so it could have been Oklahoma for all I know. But if you both say Indiana, I'm going to trust you because you both know your shit. So,
you know, I'm a venue guy. I stick there.
Yeah, you're my go-to on venue. All righty. GCW Hit 'em Up is next, huh?
All right. GCW's Hit 'em Up in LA at the UCC Center. Yeah, I didn't make it either, as I know you're gonna get into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a fun time at Disneyland, so I'm kind of glad this whole weekend I was gonna go to it, but Disneyland was a blast. I had a little bit of FOMO once they announced Macisos were returning. I was like, oh, I want to see Macisos back, but it was a very, very strong LA and Phoenix card, so they were very good though.
Okay, yeah, my first note here, I was heartbroken that we couldn't make the trip to LA. I turned on the show to review it, and I didn't see my tie-dye shirt.
I ended up seeing long neck instead.
Dude, we'll get into that
one
spot.
Too. He was in your spot.
Yeah, he was in my spot.
You.
But yeah, this show is a very thick show. It had 10 matches. It was definitely LA style. They fill it up because LA fans fucking bring it. So I appreciate that. The UCC looks great as always. There are 2 new TV screens that have been added on each side of the stage. It looks like they spent some money, and it's a positive look. You like them too, I'm guessing, right? Nice upgrade.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more when I saw that
Listen
email.
To you.
Oh, we're gonna upgrade the stuff. I was like, oh, what are they gonna do? I'm like, well, they can't. They already got the screen, so I'm like, they try. I was thinking just a giant green screen because of what they tried to do last time with the green screen in the back. But MLJ's shirt kept on fucking it up. That's what I was expecting to see. The 2 screens, I saw those 2 screens. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But then that was it. Like I was hoping, and I think what you're about to like get into, like when I saw the TV screens, I was hoping to see some like music videos and not music video intro videos for like the wrestlers, like even like a generic little one. Like I was thinking like they're upping it now. We're gonna get like graphics like saying. Jordan Oliver, like like the videos in the back, like for the intros and stuff. That's what I was thinking. Now we're gonna get some intro videos, but or they would use the TVs a little bit more. I don't know what they used it for off of Fight TV, like, but like in the downtimes and stuff like that. I didn't know if they put something on for the fans in between, but yeah, I didn't mind it. I was just expecting something more grand, I guess.
Oh, okay. Here, so Frank had this to say regarding that TV's current era. It's an upgrade, but Carousel Room always had projectors. That's a fantastic point. Also, yeah, I saw the blue shirt La Familia that flew out the TOS. I thought that was awesome too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Just to the left of where we would normally sit, all the blue shirts lined up. That was the only color I really saw on my side. But yeah, man, for the first time in like 7 or okay, our first show was the first sellout. So literally we've been to every sellout, and then to not make one, dude, it hurts. I couldn't find myself. You know what I mean? It's like, man, it hurt not to see one of my fucking shirts like right there in front, yelling. Let's see.
And see, this is how I wanted to that. This is why I thought the TVs were going to be used for like, yeah, show the vignettes and show like the stuff that you're showing on Fight TV. Show it. I don't like. That's what I mean. I don't know. From on Fight TV, it just looked like it was just a logo. Hit them up the entire time. Like, but I don't know. Like when they show the videos for us on Fight TV and we don't see the venue. Like I was kind of hoping for the people in the venue. They were showing that same video to the crowd that's there, so that way they could be expected and excited for what's coming up next.
So if there is anybody in chat that would like to tell us that was at the LA show, if those TVs were used for something like that, please let us know. Yeah, I was going to say Kev C or maybe Great One was there, unsure. But yeah, so my idea with one of the TVs, I thought, would be to put it right above the entrance area. And then you just put their name in a specific font right there up top. And when they come out, you have the camera sitting at about chest high looking up. So you would be able to see the performer, and right above on the TV would be their name written. Just a thought.
Yeah, I would like that.
So I wanted to write here. For comic reasons, I thought it sucks that production didn't put the graphics in the background again. I loved how funny it was that it bled into our screens so weird. We had such a good laugh that, I thought it was a good idea, but again, because the background got kind of screwy. Sorry,
I was asking. That's why I was like, yeah, where's Kev C at? Did he go to LA? He's like, no, I was at Triple Mania. I didn't know he was even in here. What's up, Kev?
Here we go. Also, if it's like the Philly Collective, probably not too much. The one time they show actual footage from the shows the whole weekend was when Blue Cane pushed Broski Jimmy off the stage.
Oh, okay.
I still hope that Blue Cane was going to come out from the mat during the Mance and Effie thing and pull Mance down into wherever the hell he came from. All right, here. I recommend my East Coast GCW family to visit LA once in your lifetime. It's been described by many talents as crazier than AC, and I think you may find it a way different experience that you should have at least once. Any thoughts on that one, Mance? Or on Mance, I called you Mance. Anything on that one, man?
Nah, I'm kind of the opposite. I don't have the urge anymore as I do, unless they open up the carousel for one special GCW show. But I want to go out there for a TOS or Nick Gage. I wanted to go to AC for the terminal and see a deathmatch tournament there, but not the terminal, the carousel room. I don't know. The terminal's not gonna kind of get me to go down there right now.
So I will be fair then for Collective next year. If anyone is on the fence or wants to save money in Las Vegas, we have glass like crazy. We are the premier spot for glass in the Southwest United States. I recommend saving that money to come to Las Vegas next year for the Collective, because I would really love to see if all the fans could get together and ask for another Planet Death. Just curious, because if there's a place to have it, Las Vegas will 100% take it. Just one idea. And I know whoever needs to book it, fine. Maybe have the Nick Gage book it. But we've been yelling for a Planet Death, and we've seen it overseas most recently. And I think we did see it once in Dallas, was it? I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's on my Christmas wish list, is to see that. So what else do we have down here in chat that's going on? Yeah, the AC situation. Yeah, rather than a show, that's something that's worth talking about down the road. The terminal kind of sucks. The UCC is so. I get what you're saying. The only thing I don't like about the UCC is no glass. Outside of that, I feel like it's a perfect venue. Maybe could use another 500 capacity, would be nice. Of course, that may depend on the venue, since everyone seems to be betting on not using the Silver Nugget. Yeah, the Silver Nugget's not happening. I think it was a week ago or so. There were some people out here looking at venues actively. I don't know 100%, but I still feel like the local area dropped the fucking ball, and that's why we didn't have anything here in Vegas for this past time, and that's why GCW, I think, went to Chicago and whatnot, but I don't know. I'm not, well, maybe we'll get into it a little bit, but I feel like eventually GCW may find another home than the terminal. We were listening on, or I was listening on Patreon. If anybody ever wants to get on there and become a member, GCW has their official, we're the fan, but they have the official GCW podcast on there. And Brett was talking about the difficulties of the terminal versus the carousel room. And one of the big things is there was no dedicated audio video equipment. So everything has to come from them and be brought in, amongst other things like air conditioning. So let's see here. The problem with the UCC is the lighting. It needs to be dim with a focus on the ring. Do that and it becomes an all-time venue. I know their production guy, Baruso, was talking about, yes, if you can, Matt would be the guy to talk to about that. And he is freaking awesome. I'll actually say something this week too and let him know that listeners and fans are also mentioning, hey man, if you can bring those lights closer and then angle them down further so they're not in fans' faces as much, that would be amazing. So he may even be listening tonight. We got over 600 people in here, so there's a chance he may even just be bored and listening tonight. But he's a good dude, and there's a good. Oh, look at the Bizzard, the only GC to. We love you, man.
For me, the UCC for me was always the audio. Like I always thought the audio needed to be better as a fan, like just being in there, because like you could barely hear the promos, MLJ, the music, like, and that's gotten a little bit better, but I still think it could be a little bit louder in there and more clear. But I do appreciate like the lights that they put on around the outside and everything else. I do like the UCC. I don't know if it's A+ venue or not, but I don't mind it, but I don't know. It's different. It's cool.
I only like the Silver Nugget now that I've found out from Great when we were talking on one of these previous shows that was one of the first places where glass was ever used, period. was at the Silver Nugget. So, I mean, that's a historical venue from that perspective. I don't know how many people knew that, but I highly doubt it's at the Silver Nugget. Again, they're looking at other venues and they're doing it their fucking selves this time, because I think they lost a lot of money not having this weekend or that past weekend happen for Double or Nothing here in Vegas. So fingers crossed. And again, we're just talking. I don't know anything. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together, like the fact that I contacted the Silver Nugget and asked about those days months ago when we found out it wasn't going to happen. And they said they already had something personal booked at that time. So there's a chance that the local promoter just didn't book the venue in time. So things like that can happen. But yeah, they're taking it into their own hands, and I'm happy they are, because I really want to see Las Vegas happen next year. We got fucked this year. We actually haven't had a show since last year. So Las Vegas has lost out for almost 2 years. So when they come back, I really hope they fucking bring it, because we've been waiting, and I know they will. So who else said anything down here? It says it's crazy on the TV. Carousel Room looks larger than the UCC when the UCC is actually
that's
bigger.
insane. That's crazy to even think about. No way. The UCC is bigger than than the Carousel Room.
You know what? What's the max on the Carousel Room? Does any of the listeners know? If they know,
they've
feel
gotten
free
over
to
1,000. I think before,
put it in.
like for that Mox gauge, I think they said it was like closer to 13. I thought is what I heard.
I wouldn't be, well, you know what I mean? You've seen the UCC packed to what? Probably 15. You know what I mean? Unofficially,
no.
You've seen what? Spring break,
1,000.
what did you think it was? 13? 1,300?
Okay. Collective spring break. That was the biggest I've ever seen it, but like 12, maybe 11, maybe at most.
1,200 for the carousels. What's Frank is saying?
That sounds
1,200 or more. Yeah,
it's
a small indoor golf.
I
It's so fucking sad to see what went down there, and now it's like kid golf and stuff like that. So let's see here. And one of the positives of the terminal is the space. Yes, and that's what made working. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff to do there. I feel like it needs to be made more like home. The banners were like the first huge step forward. I still have an issue with the hard cam. If you look directly up above center top, you still see like an AC unit or some type of blower unit there. So anytime something major happens on the hard cam, you see an AC unit or something in the background. My recommendation is to get a big black GCW flag and cover that area. I just, wife saying, you want to say hi, Turtle? Wave hi. She's going to bed for the night. Good night. Love you. Good night. Oh man. So I think that's all I had to say about this one. I'm unless you have something else, I'm ready to roll, brother.
All right. So first match was Jordan Oliver versus Broski Jimmy. I'll let you go into your notes because I didn't have much for this.
No, not a problem. I happen to have maybe too many notes on this one. Broski Jimmy is out first. He grabs the mic from Emil. Emil's wearing an awesome Public Enemy shirt. Jimmy says LA's filled with losers and freaks. Jimmy talks shit to Long Neck, saying freaks get famous for looking that way. He gets in the ring and they have an exchange. Jordan comes out to save the guy. I wouldn't call it a run-in as he's still injured from the previous night that we talked about. Jordan doesn't seem too happy after the previous night's loss. We have chairs coming in match number 1. Jimmy beating on Jordan's weak knee from the last night. Either the injury is sold well or Jordan is barely mobile enough to wrestle. This didn't feel like our typical high energy opener as something fell off. Jordan hits a shell shock with an assist from the internet sensation Long Neck. I'm sold on the injury. Please get well soon, Jordan. Our winner here was Jordan Oliver. I just want to go right to my opinion and no one kill me. It's apparent GCW is in a period of growth and change, and it still has its toes in 2 different swimming pools. If we want respect from outside fans and peers, then we maybe not want to do bringing in people calling them freaks for shock value. People with diseases and illnesses because they look different. I'm not, you know what I mean? It's all in fun, but it's not, you know, it feels Jerry Springer-like to me, and I feel like it should stay in the 90s or on the internet. There are moments I feel like GCW goes too indie, and I feel it hurts the overall image of GCW when that happens. I can't say something bad without recommending something good. My recommendation in LA, maybe have Cartwheel bring Whitney Cummings out as a special guest. Give them seats on the stage and let them experience the show. Jack was over here. They get along well, obviously, and he wanted to do that. I would say maybe that's a more classier move. And I think that maybe we would have more internet buzz in a positive fashion if we go that route. Now, again, that's an opinion, and maybe that's me being a hard ass, but I look at it like that. Like if you bring a guy in with a wheelchair because you want shock value, or someone with a long neck for shock value, I just feel that's so indie. That's so circus. And we're trying to get away from that. My understanding is. So it's like every time you get dressed up, when you lift your dress, you still got dirty tennis shoes on. It's like pick an outfit.
I liked oh shit, where was I going with that, man?
I'm sorry. I threw you off. I never say anything negative.
I liked how Jack Cartwheel got the picture with Whitney Cummings doing the cartwheel and stuff. That was cool after what he was telling us on the podcast. So I thought that was a cool moment for him to get with her. So I get that. I think it's kind of reminds like PWG, you know, we got these like A-name celebrities that people know about going to a wrestling show. What's all that about? And like other now celebrities go and do it and stuff like that. That's what I was just about to click. I was the same way though as Frank right here. I had no idea who this guy was. I was like, is he famous for having a long neck? Does he just have a long neck? Who is this guy? Why are we even bringing like, I don't know. I'm kind of like with you. Like, I don't like, for me, it was just like, who is this guy? Why are we even bringing him in? But even like these names that we
brought him in because he looks weird. That's the truth. We brought him in because, or he came to the show front and center because he looks weird, and that's supposed to be shock value. I'm just being respectful about it. And my respectful opinion is Jack and several others do have connections to artists of all different kinds. See if maybe one or two of them want to come to the show. And instead of shoving long neck on there, feel free to shove somebody more famous from the last 5 years on here. I don't know. So there you go. Yeah, he's an influencer with a lot of followers.
I like that.
And also, I feel every person.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just wanting to say, to be fair, I do also believe every person deserves to have a job and work. So if he was paid to be there, by all means, if you want to be called what you want to, absolutely fine too. I was just saying, doing things like this for the shock value that obviously we're shooting for. Did that really bring in anybody? Did that sell any tickets? You know what I mean? Did that sell any tickets the next night? What was that for besides people in WWE and AEW fans going online going, look what these guys did, and it looks goofy? I'm just being I'm being honest. I have to go see all these wrestlers and Brett and everybody when the shows come around. So I have to be face to face, and people don't understand how hard it is sometimes to be honest if or when you don't like something and just say, hey. But this is one of those times where I say, if you want to be taken serious, be serious. That's fair.
Yeah.
And I you know what I mean? But that's all.
For me, it was like Ron Funches was a bigger name. At least it was a name I knew and didn't have to look up.
Yeah. I had to get that off my chest. And like I said, I've never generally negative, but this is one of those things where I'm like, feel free to have them. Just be a little weird with the word freaking things, because he does have a disease. I looked it up. He does have a disease, and it's rare, but it's not rare enough that a fan could be listening with the same disease. I mean, again, this is me being a touchy prick too, probably, and I don't probably need to be that touchy, but I'm also just trying to be fair that the Jerry Springer like 90s games of putting someone on for shock value just isn't the same anymore. And if you do, then what is that saying for you've got to walk into WWE studios or AEW sometime, and do you want that in your video library? Anyway, okay. So sorry, I'm cranky, I guess, when it comes to that. Oh, yeah, there's another good point. Longneck didn't even put the appearance on his Instagram.
See, at least Ricky Berwick was doing shit and posting it all over the place when Joey was going at him.
Yeah, and you know what? That's what it's about. It's entertainment, and it's about promotion. But this guy, yeah, there we go, Frank. Yeah, dude didn't even put on Instagram. So he was just there to do his thing. I don't know. All right.
second matchup of GCW's Hit 'em Up is Megan Bain versus Sandra Moon. I was looking to see if Sandra could step up and have a good match with Megan, because Megan's been killing it with a bunch of big GCW names, and now kind of going a little down to Sandra Moon and a little different than Jimmy. I was wondering to see how this would work, but I thought this was a good match between both women. And here's where I wanted to start shouting out commentary, as you were kind of doing earlier. Jordan Castle was awesome on commentary all weekend long. Every match he did, he did amazing work. This was like one of the first ones where I wrote the note, like, Jordan did excellent work all weekend long. And in this matchup, I think he was a perfect person to put in there, given as many matches and as much as he follows Sandra Moon out there. He did a very good job of putting her over, as well as Megan Bain. I think commentary did a great job with this match of highlighting and boosting up both women.
All right, so we have Sandra out first, and then we have Megan out next. To me, these two are two very different levels of wrestler, and for me, the difference was way apparent. Mega's obviously larger, faster, stronger. Her gear makes a point. I felt her fundamentals were better, and she has an aura about her. Megan showed dominance with Sandra, showing glimmers of offense here and there. I kept this kind of as a quick match. Megan wins with a tombstone and continues her undefeated streak, which I feel we need to start watching that undefeated streak now, especially if there was a women's division. She may be our next beast, our next Goldberg in that aspect, because we might see her running through some people for quite a while. I don't know. My outside of the GCW World Championship match, this was the longest match on the card. I feel this could have went for less time, given the opponent was a local/regional wrestler. I would have put Bain over in 6 to 7 minutes, enough time for Bain to look strong without giving away her formula, and also enough time for Sandra to look like she put up a fight. That's my opinion on it. What's your opinion on Megan Bain and Sandra Moon here?
As you said, I just think Megan is in a different class right now. She's killed it in every way. That's why I was kind of shocked to go, like, just on name value, to go back down against Sandra in this match. Was I thought this was going to be a little bit more of a squash match, as you said, to kind of make Megan look a little bit more dominant, given who she was facing and after who she's been facing against. And yeah, that's what I was going to say. Great one. I was about to say, it seems like they're going to be pushing Megan into this SDL stuff, because they keep on comparing how their height and everything else. But I think even then, Megan's going to make Steph look like in a different world if it comes down to ring work. So yeah, I've been enjoying Megan's work. She's been doing good. I like to see her now even at this short point in her GCW career, wrestle against some of the bigger names that are GCW regulars, not local competitors, and start building her up. As you said, if they want to start building her up like a little Goldberg and get her, let's make wins matter, get her a title shot here soon, and see what happens. And yeah, I'm interested in see where her career goes. And she's been killing it in GCW as of late, and still nice to see her still killing it. Especially the next night in Phoenix. That was a special match that I think was a way more better representation of what Megan Bain brings to GCW wrestling the next night that she had in the match.
Frank hit it right here. This is a possibility. If GCW didn't already suffer from championship bloat, I would think that Megan's run leads to a women's belt. If there wasn't, what's a good way to put it? If we knew that she'd be around for a while, I would 100% put a belt on her. And we talked about this on a previous show. I told Brent, if I had a women's belt, which I don't have, but GCW has, it's dormant. And if there was a women's division in GCW, she would have put the entire women's division on its head. I would have shot a rocket right to the top with her. Absolutely. So, yeah, if there was a build to have a women's division and a women's championship, I would say do it. I kind of wish there was, only because the women that come through GCW are so fantastic. And sometimes when they're mixed in with the men, they get mixed. And sometimes we don't really get to see them do as much as I feel we could see them do. So I do like to celebrate the women, period, and what they can offer and who they are. So who knows? But yeah, We remain hopeful, and if there is a women's division, she would definitely be at the top of it, and I would put her up there with SDL or Masha Slamovich as a potential feud at this time.
Yeah, Masha versus Bane would be really good right now.
Oh, you know it.
All right. Next matchup was one I think a lot of people are really looking forward to. I know I was. I've been wanting to see what he could provide outside of WWE as we get a debut in Sydney Akeem going against Jack Cartwheel. This match delivered. Sydney is going to kill it. I knew he would, and I think honestly, I know this is going to sound homer, but I think the best place for him to showcase his talents is going to be Game Changer Weekly. Game Changer Wrestling, and
he can come show his talents here.
Right? Yes, I would love to have him on now. Let's just talk about it. But I think what him versus Ninja Max going to set GCW viral. I think that match is going to have a lot of cool gifts come from it. But this match against Jack Cartwheel was very, very good. Sydney could actually wrestle a wrestling match. They showed how much they held him back, and Jack did a great job, I think, wrestling against a bigger name, but also I think he might be in wrestling wise the more of a veteran and kind of help carry and pace this match. And I think Jack did a great job in this match to kind of equal the intensity and kind of equal the vibe that Sydney was giving off. And I enjoyed every single second of this match. And that ending was insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just as excited as you were here. Sydney was out first in his GCW debut. He looks absolutely happy to be there. Jack Cartwheel, for me, seemed like the perfect opponent for Sydney. He comes out absolutely full of steam. I see where Prazak wants a cartwheel counter, but I feel like it would be a distraction from the show. Otherwise, it would be a fun drinking game. Does anybody want to try to drink on every cartwheel? Ooh. Might want to do that with beer. Sydney or Coca-Cola. Sydney looks good. A lot of tit for tat back and forth between Jack and Sydney in the best of ways. There were innovative spots everywhere. I do feel like Jack and Sydney's somehow like a couple somewhere. 100% worth watching this match for yourself. This is awesome chance, fight forever chance. You know, those two chants means that the fans put their stamp of approval on it. Sydney hits 2 backflips and a cutter on Jack for 3. To me, I felt like I was peeking into the future of athleticism in professional wrestling. Jordan Castle also mentioned that he'd like to see Jack and Sydney as a tag team. I agree. They would be deadly. They're quite similar, and I'd like to see GCW pair them for a couple nights if possible. My last note here is just 11 exciting minutes is what they put together for us. What are your thoughts on this 11-minute match?
Yeah, that was like I said, a great debut outside of WWE. The Machine, Sydney got to showcase what he can do. I was expecting a little bit more flashy, maybe gear or song and everything, but I think he just came in focused on like showing the wrestling world he could actually fucking wrestle. And I'm glad he did it during this match. They had a great story. And yeah, if we're not going to be able to get Ninja Mac out here a little bit more as we have as of late, and if we could get Sydney a little bit more, I would put Sydney and Jack in a tag team right away. Look at what they could do as a tag team and the tag division and how crazy and innovative they are. They provide something completely different than what Violence is Forever has seen and what they could provide. So yeah, put Sydney and a Jack. I think Sydney's going to want to showcase what he could do as a singles wrestler. And yes. But I definitely wouldn't mind seeing them as a tag team, and it makes perfect sense, and they would gel, I think, perfectly.
Oh, yeah, I thought they did a great match, but I also got the impression we didn't see everything he could do, and that's a good thing. Yeah, I'm right there. Oh, man, everything he did, though, was just so damn impressive, and there are quite a few things I had never seen before because I don't watch WWE that often. So when it comes to what he was doing over there, I had no clue. It was a fresh guy to me. No kidding. It was a fresh character to me, and I was wide open, and it was just impressive. Everything about it was impressive.
It was a good one. I'm excited. I kind of agree. Like I was expecting a little bit more flashiness, but I think he's just gonna, after seeing the way he finished that match, I could see exactly what we like. As Gray one said, it's gonna next match we're gonna see a little bit. Well, if his next match against Ninja Mac, we're gonna see fucking everything on that one. But if he has one more match against Ninja, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit new moves a little bit, start opening up the playbook. But I feel like he was more reserved, but in a good way to kind of put over other aspects that he kind of wanted to focus on. Is what I got from his first match outside of WWE. All right, the match we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Viva Van going against man like Darius. The story will be told. John, let's hear the story.
All right. So this was Viva Van Single's debut at GCW. We've covered Viva before. She's a badass. The Pemimin, that's a new word that I made up for the night. The premier women's wrestler of Las Vegas and the Southwest United States. 9 championships, 2 currently held. One of those, the BTW Women's Championship, for 983 days. She averages 425 days per title reign. The only title number holding down that entire average is her current Glam title for 45 days, but that number is going up daily. On another show in another world, Viva takes on Bane. Man like Darius has become somewhat similar of a popular choice for this match, given his background from a previous match where he just wanted that Viva's ass thrown in his face. He likes Viva a lot, it seems. He's become more of a regular GCW, and no complaints from our end. They play up the tension in the match, interesting style where they wrestled for a sequence or two and break to further their story. There's mostly comedy with undertones of sexual tension. Dries seemed to be good for comedy. His facial reactions are great. He has a big personality. I felt like I saw more of him tonight than any other night of wrestling. To me, that's sports entertainment, baby. Poor Chad Rico caught in the middle of all of this tension and drama. He was forced to check Darius for a foreign weapon. Chad found the dick, which happened to be half of his leg. This starts a BBC chant. Darius, of course, gets on the ropes and starts saying, when I say BB, you say C. Of course, that chant went over fantastic. Also, Darius with a Mad Kurt tribute had went down. I've never felt tension of, will Darius get Viva's ass in his face? Then, oh no, she missed, and feeling let down for him. Viva covers for the win after Darius goes dizzy from Viva's stink face. Terrible name for that in this situation, and then fell down. After the match, Darius stands up like he wasn't even hurt, and Chad Rico raises his hand like he won the match. Darius was happy like a kid who just got his favorite toy for Christmas. To me, everything about this was fun. We needed to see this side of both Viva and Darius, and I think that's entertaining. Darius has a ring and gets on one knee. He's proposing. We get yes, yes, yes chants from the fan, and she says yes. We finished the story. The only thing that would have made this better is if it was done in Las Vegas, so we could have had a wedding, WWE style. So that's my long-winded notes on this story. What were you thinking on this one?
That story was worth the wait for. It was awesome. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed all the little games. Yeah, when she fell out the ring, I was like, like man, like Drew's like, oh no, like that. It was good. Like it's hit all the comedy spots. It was perfectly done. As you said, I think the personality of man like Darius definitely came out during this match. And yeah, I loved it at the end when he took just the pin and he shot up and I'm the winner, raised my hand. That was it. That was a cherry on the top for me, man. Like he is so good with that stuff. And yeah, I was glad to see the story get its happy ending and everything else involved with it. It was fantastic and fun.
Nobody else would have done as well. Also, I just want to say, like, anybody else in that position probably wouldn't have been as colorful and enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Great one wants to know, are we getting a wrestling wedding segment? Do we have another one coming up? Cardona and Chelsea Green part 2?
It's possible. Oh, you know what I think would be funny? Let's just go back to the 90s. What if Joey gets Chelsea drunk, she passes out, they go to the wedding chapel and do it Triple H and Stephanie McMahon style? I think that segment got heat though, when all was said and done, because she was passed out or something. But
well, especially nowadays,
yeah. So, but I mean, that was something that if they wanted to do a callback, yeah, he could have stolen Chelsea off of Cardona and taken her and gotten married.
I like this one too. Fuego coming out to interrupt the wedding because he interrupted the first move in the past. That's a good callback. That was good. That was a good story though. Good match placement. I enjoyed it for what it was, for everything it was worth. All right. I almost skipped a match there. All right. Our next matchup was ended up being a three-way match as Hunter Drake goes against Bobby Flacco, and also Zilla Vatu makes an appearance because he's bored in LA and he needs someone to whoop on.
Yeah, so this was originally just going to be Flacco versus Drake. The bell even rang. And then right after the bell rang, music hit, out came, surprise, Zilla Fatu. He's now entered into the match. Zilla's getting this huge pop from his entrances. I don't know how much you're noticing, but he's not getting a gauge pop, but he's getting a he's fucking popular pop. I'm almost hoping he stays with me, or he stays with us. Flacco and Drake work together at first to wear down Zilla. I do like the strong booking of Zilla as a threat, that it takes two men to fight him. A door finally comes out. Bobby was flying everywhere, in the ring, out of the ring. It didn't fucking matter. Bobby was flying. Flacco and Drake spent too much time on themselves as Zilla was laying on the floor healing. Out of nowhere, Flacco gets speared through a door. Zilla hit the super spike on Bobby, then dragged Hunter's body over on top of Bobby and pinned them both for 3. I'll say it again. It was a good way to book Zilla. We're booking a monster. Bobby and Hunter also did a great job out there. And again, for less than 7 minutes, that's what I got out of this match. What did you get? Man, the mute monster is killing you tonight.
Man, I am. I was trying to find something real fast while you're doing that. No, yeah, Zilla, that was perfect. I think you worded a perfect, good way to book him as a monster against two smaller competitors. Let him kind of just throw them around and throw them through some tables and doors and make him look destructive. And that's what happened. I enjoyed it. It's good. He needs these matches every once in a while, especially with the match that he had the night before and the match that he's going to get the next night. I think this is a good way to still keep him fresh and still make him look like a monster. Kev, I want to know what you're saying here. He did the Ric Flair angle where they photoshopped the pictures for the magazine. You're talking about man like Darius? Because if so, I want to see these pictures because I can't find it on his Twitter. But that would be great if that's what they did. All right, our next matchup, GCW's Hit 'em Up, is a 6-way scramble, as it is the one called Manders, Braden Toon, Jordan Cruz, Mr. Danger, Rob Shit, and Sam Stackhouse. I loved all the competitors. I loved literally how each one is completely different from the other, and they had a pretty good scramble match. It was a little different than the normal lucha high flying shit we normally see in LA. We actually didn't even get much of that at all during this trip, which is nice because LA also needs one of these just originals, Joey Mance Warner kind of main events and stuff. But seeing all 6 of them made me happy, and they killed it during this scramble match, and they were just causing destruction or flying all over the place still as well.
So outside of Mr. Danger, this is a match of bigger boys. Rob Shit played the bad guy. Sam Stackhouse with a huge tope. I think it was Emo with the Chris Kloss KGL where he went, hey! Toon had a Boston Crab applied on Manders from the top rope. I got split away for a second. Manders played the veteran in the match. There were nasty chops. Let's add him in there. No, it's cool. Now we're flipped. We're on the other side. Jordan Cruz always looks good. I popped on his Styles clash. Yeah, Manders played the veteran in this match. There were nasty chops between him and Cruz. He hit a huge lariat on Rob Shit for 3 in a touch under 10 minutes with all that excitement. That's where we're at there. What were your thoughts on this one? Anything good?
That MLJ scream was classic. I definitely enjoyed that one. I always like when I heard that scream, I'm glad you put the KG one because that's what I went to. Like it was KG in LA, I think it was. I think it was like Speedball versus Jack Cartwheel or something. They did like a crazy segment. Like you just hear the like falling away from the mic. Yep. I just like pictured him falling out of a chair. I saw the same thing there with the MLJ and stuff. I didn't know that was MLJ though. Someone else said it was Prazak online, and that's what I thought it was too. I thought it was Prazak making that noise, but Emma was like, no, that was me doing that stuff. So I was glad. It was cool. MLJ, like I said, commentary, they were awesome just all weekend, and especially like a match like this with a lot of kind of less GCW familiar names, unless you watch them all a lot on the West Coast. All those names are kind of new, but I think commentary did a great job of overhyping them all and getting them all excited, and they all delivered. And I was, nice to see Rob Shit back in GCW. It feels like it's been a minute for the shit show in GCW, and it's been nice having him in here.
You know what? He was one of the first people to sign my flag back there. So I have shit on my flag. Yeah. I have tons of shit on my flag. Yeah, I'm always happy to see Rob back in back in a GCW ring. Every now and then I'll see him on the stage if he's not, working the show that night. Um yeah, that's all I have to say. I know I'm kind of cutting it short on that one, but yeah, Rob's hair is coming back. That's the one thing I will say, because that's actually okay. That's a funny story. I'll say that one real quick. I was talking to Rob, and this was right after he got out of his house, and his hair was shaved because they shave your hair at his house, and and he said that a bunch of fans came up to him and were like, "Your hair, dude, your hair." And he told me, he goes, "I had no idea how much people liked my hair and how much it served my, my character." And I'm like, dude, being the 80s rock star kind of thing that you're doing there, you need to have that hair. You know, it's like the Motley Crue kind of look that he's got going on there. So yeah, that hair is slowly coming back. I feel like Samson, that's his superpower. So, maybe he'll be extra strong shit next time we see him. We don't know.
Yeah, extra strong shit. I like here Frank where he goes with the hot starts and the oh shit. For me, there was always like 3 things you could always count on during a GCW show. Be like, you'd always get one hot start with Emerald running out of the ring saying oh shit. You'd always get one strong 1 count. And then the third, you could always KG on commentary saying something. Now we got to change that to something else though. But that was like always those 3 things I always pictured. But I always like, you could always count on one oh shit and all that stuff.
He said, "What kind of house shaved your head?"
The big one.
The big house is what shaved his head. He had to go check out the big house for a while, and part of it's got to get the head shaved. So he's a better man now.
All right.
Said he was a guest of the court. The court. Who are we talking about there? I wish I knew. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so sorry, Frank. Too. He's typing like crazy right now. Dan Houston. This fucker. Houston. I love that. All right, going back to our show.
All right, our 7th matchup in LA was a returning Los Macizos going against the Stoner Brothers. When this match was announced, a big court of law. Oh, it was against the court of law. There we go. Big weight was off my chest knowing that Los Macizos is still with GCW, so I was happy to see them get a match back in GCW, back in LA, and of course against the Stoner Brothers. I thought this was a perfect return match for them to kind of have fun, get the crowd back on their side, and get the Los Macizos back in the forefront of GCW's fans' memories.
Fucking thick Mark.
Laughing at the thick Mark.
Fucking call it the thick Mark. Okay, I'm sorry. I just had to. Here we go. I had to get my sound back. My laugh actually blew the microphone for a second there. Okay, let me get back to my notes here. So we announced Los Macizos and the Stoner Bros. I'm with you. Welcome back, Los Macizos. Go get those fucking tag team titles back ASAP. Personal opinion. Stoner Bros back again. I'm happy to see them back. They kicked a lot of ass last time at the 420 show. They're also big guys, so everything they do have impact. I've talked to these guys off and on ever since they were at the 420 show, and I have really high opinions of them. Very nice guys. They know exactly who they are. They know exactly what they're doing, and that's something I like because it's a true show of a veteran team. So regardless of the character they're portraying, when it comes down to 2 men knowing each other and really working their ass off and doing their job, they definitely do it. Stoners handed Los Macizos their joints. Let me kind of curtain for a second here. Los Macizos don't smoke. I know that. Up until the last couple months ago, they don't smoke. I saw Miedo kind of puffing on it and getting it in his mouth and face a little bit. There is a strong guarantee that Miedo caught a little bit of a buzz. Prazak said he's not surprised if Macizos take the titles again. Thank you, Prazak. I love when he drops those little nuggets of knowledge. A lot of high impact moves from the Stoners. Macizos are back to their old ways of violence. Rick Scott Stoner with an incredible second rope swinging power slam. We talked about that on X. I think you may have been at Disney. You may not have been, but I told him, I go, dude, pull that fucking move off at GCW and people are going to lose their fucking minds. And they did. Chairs were in play, Macizos eating chair shots, fans starting with the Miedo chants. Doors are also now in play. A door bridge was made. Miedo was lighting a joint, which, again, surprising to me. He passes it to Ciclope, and they send, I believe, Rick Scott through a bridge for the win. I feel it was a good match. I'm so happy to see both teams back. I do feel LA could be stoner country. I kind of hope it stays that way, at least at the regional level. Los Macizos, let's fucking go. That's what I have to say about match 7.
Yes, very good, strong, fun, and entertaining return match from Los Macizos. Did you see that clip going around? Like, of I think it was Fightful sending out a first of like it looked like they were recreating the Joey and oh my god, that spot from throwing him off the top of the roof.
Oh yeah, dude.
You saw
Okay,
that
so what
one though today?
was that? Okay, so that was Ciclope that did that onto the car.
Ciclope threw whoever it was. I forgot. Someone tagged whoever it was off the car, and then Ciclope was the one who did the backflip with the light tubes. Yeah, from that high onto the car. I was like, no wonder why we haven't seen them in a while. Like he did that move, and he was gone for a while. I don't know how long that ago that was, but I was like, after I saw that move, like, why can't we get this kind of Ciclope back in GCW? Like, we need these. Macizos back and ASAP and get the deathmatch stuff going in GCW.
You know what fucked with me is the backflip was perfect. The landing was actually perfect. I don't know, man. All right. So the video featuring Danhausen and Kylie Ray was pure art. This was going into that next match. It had the old-fashioned whimsical music matched with violence. If you're one of those people that's a smartass like me, you appreciate the violence with the old-timey kind of, like I said, whimsical music. So I just wanted to mention it because I haven't been mentioning the video packages as much, only because I would be mentioning them in between every match now. They've kind of placed them in there. And again, I love it. I feel like I catch up on what's going on. And when my wife sits down to watch, if she misses a show, she can catch the updates on the next show. And I think that's going to help tell stories also down the road.
Yeah, those videos are always spot on and key as of late. And yeah, that leads us into our next match, as it is the Danhausen going against Smiley Kylie Ray. I was really, okay, so it's old one. I was wondering how recent that was, because I was like, man, is that what he's been doing when he hasn't been wrestling in GCW? Yeah, I was actually looking forward to Danhausen and Kylie actually for the wrestling. Not so much the comedy spots and stuff, because I wanted, unless we got to see like an evil Kylie, didn't really see too much of that. But yeah, this match was good for what it was. I want to see it ran back, but in a more serious, let's focus on the wrestling kind of style. But for what Danhausen is doing as of right now, this match made sense. And to see Kylie in a kind of have a fun kind of matchup was it's always fun to see her smiling as well. So
with the way their characters are, with the nice and the evil, they could almost tag team as a mixed tag.
Very nice.
I don't know.
Evil. Yep.
I'm just throwing it out there because she could be very nice. He could be very evil.
I like that tag team.
It's a possibility. Yeah, for me, I felt like more of a comedy match. I hope I'm not stepping on anything you said there. Danhausen curses Kylie. Kylie steals Danhausen's cape, and she's kind of playing around with it. Danhausen was drawing heat at times, which I found interesting. To me, both should just turn evil. I thought very nice, very evil, but I was watching during the match and I'm like, you know what? One should just hit the other one the wrong way and both just turn fucking evil. And then it becomes a real wrestling match. Danhausen hits the good Nighthausen for the win. My opinion was it was a fun match that turned into a wrestling match in the last 4 to 5 minutes. It was more about telling an enjoyable story here more than anything else. And I've already given my opinion on Danhausen. This was a 10-minute match, surprisingly, not 6 to 8, which I think maybe would have. But Kylie Ray, I think, is what kept this match booked a little longer than it maybe would have without her. Excuse me. So, yeah, 10-minute match. I'm happy. But again, with Danhausen, I'm almost happier having him do promos and maybe one match every 4 shows, 5 shows, and show up for the humor and whatnot.
I don't know if you see him. We're going to get a lot more Danhausen in the future. He's going with him to Japan. Sounds like he might go with them
I'm
for
not
like a UK.
surprised.
That might be, yeah, I could see Danhausen doing a little longer tour with GCW for the rest of the year.
And again, with Cardona and the whole move with sports entertainment, he is a sports entertainer.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Our next matchup is Team Thrusy going against the Garbage Daddy and Bodie. Bodie joining the Garbage Daddy, Alec Price and Cole Radrick. Once again, I see Effie back in Team Thrusy, but I don't know. I still want something from him. And it was nice seeing Bodie getting a tag team with the Garbage Daddies, and he fits right in with them. And seeing him on GCW's always puts a smile on my face out here. And this was a good match, nice, fun, fan-friendly match. I think it was all the fan favorites, and definitely all the fans got into all the chants and all the fun comedy spots that seemed to happen during this match.
So back to back, we had more fun matches. This was another one, albeit shorter by 2 minutes. This was an 8-minute match. Sheik was out in awesome gear. I could not tell you who she was dressed as, but I was familiar with it. I just couldn't tell the comic book. Bodie and the Garbage Daddies entrance was fun. They launched Bodie into the air, and he almost lands on a fan because the fan was cheering into the camera. So you definitely have to be aware if there are 3 wrestlers boosting one of them behind you into the air. This was more of a team versus team brawl. The tag rules were important for about the first 4 minutes. Thrusy ended up pulling out the win. Again, this was more of a clusterfuck in a way of just bodies going everywhere. 8 minutes. That's what I have. This one was, again, very short, and this was the lead up to the main event. So, this was the inhale before the big match.
Yeah, and I was about to say the last couple matches, they all kind of seemed more different paced, and the vibe is going to change as the main event is going to start. And the main event is, as we were saying earlier, Mance Warner defending the GCW World Title against Joey Janela. This one just was old school GCW. It had the fans into it. It had the carnage. It had the regulars fighting for the biggest prize in GCW, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed the story of like the struggle of taking control of GCW, and that starts with the belt. And Joey and Mance definitely had a old classic war, and already back-to-back nights. I'm loving Mance Warner's short title reign. It does already make some of these shows feel like old school GCW shows, and I had a very good feeling because of that going into and ending this match.
I'm just now realizing we're heading into our 3rd hour here. It's almost 1 a.m. in the morning. There's 700 of us in here. So hello to everyone. Thank you so much. And again,
luckily,
if you get a chance, I know, right? If you get a chance, jump into chat here, because as you can see, whoever's talking, we try to do what we can to get everyone involved. You are part of the show. Game Changer Weekly is pretty much about the fans and the fans' opinions towards the show. So please get involved as much as you can. We enjoy it when there are more people in here. Sometimes there are side conversations and arguments going on in our chat while we're talking. Please get involved. You would be missing out if you didn't. All right, so back over here, GCW World Title match, Mance Warner versus Joey Janela. This was a 27-minute match. Mance was extra aggressive with the fans that night. He threw someone's glasses into the audience. Then he pushed someone down in his seat. That was really new to me. Joey came out highly motivated. Fighting went outside quickly. He's bleeding like a stuck pig. There were chairs and doors that have been introduced, and that's when Mance got opened up. He's bleeding now too. The men brutalized each other the entire match. There was a door bridge built. Superplex puts both men through the door. Janela's body hit a chair instead of the door bridge, completely bending the chair. Everyone was covered in blood. The doors were covered in blood. The mat was covered in blood. There was wreckage everywhere. Fight forever chants were ringing out. If you watch the match, which you can, I recommend, there was a huge ladder spot. Joey hits Mance and covers. Out of nowhere, when he was about to get the 3, here comes Blake Christian with a curb stomp to the back of Joey's head. Then super kicks Adam Galt. He opens his jacket to the reveal. He has the original belt. There are 2 belts is what I'm trying to get here. What? So Blake holds both titles high as we go off the air in LA. So do you want to talk about the match before we go into what the hell's going on here at the ending?
The match was just, like I said, it was a brawl. I just had so many like just old school GCW feelings watching that match. It felt like one of those first matches I started watching way back then, but the ending was shocking and in my thankful opinion opened up so many possibilities of what can happen, what's going to happen, what is happening. Like it just threw everything that I was like bitching about Jordan and Mance. Just threw all that shit up in the air.
You're breaking up for a second there. I'm just letting you know.
Can you hear me now?
I
seem to be good on my end. You're frozen now on yours.
Huh.
On the chat, can you guys hear me in the chat? Am I breaking up in the chat?
I would say maybe jump off and jump back on for a second there. See if it's maybe because it's
okay, yeah, because you're frozen right now too. All right, hold up.
Okay. All right.
There we go. You're unfrozen now. Hold on. Can you still see me? Am I good?
I can hear you. But it's digital. So sorry.
Okay. I'm gonna hop back out, hop back in.
Testing here. Let's get back on this. I don't know what the hell just happened. Give me a moment here. Holy moly. We just went down for a moment. So there we go. Let's get him back in here. Here we go. You're good, right?
I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Holy moly. Something just happened. It like went crazy. And unfortunately, like we lost a whole bunch of people there for a minute.
Oh, I see it coming back too. There we go.
Yeah, no problem. There we go. Okay, people are coming. I don't know what the heck happened there. I am so sorry, guys. All right. So, okay. So
I know what happened.
Get back into it. What's up?
They're about to hear me go off on this Blake Christian stuff, so they wanted to cancel me and put me out of here. It's conspiracy theories going on here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to start then on what's going on here? Because we do have to talk about this. This is crazy.
Yeah. What the hell? What is going on? He's the champion. I'm liking it. I'm liking it because he came back so quick and with his own belts, because now he's like, dude, like after all this stuff that you could have taken the title from, you could have took the Extreme, you could have took that. Like I was gone for like a month and a half, if that. I don't even know how long. Like I gotta look it up real fast. When you go talk about like Blake Christian from like episode to episode, it was maybe a little over a month. And they stripped him back. So I'm very glad he showed up so quickly and with the belt. And now it seems like he's not with what's his name? Cardona's right. Yeah, it seems like he is not with what's his name anymore. Deathmatch Royalty.
Danhausen, Kerstar. Wow. So sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, I just don't know. I'm glad now we got a billion question marks, and as a fan, that's where I always want to be. I never want to know what's happening or whatnot. And like I said, all that predictable booking that I kind of was bitching about with Jordan and Manson going into this Joey match, that is completely up in the air now. I don't know. Is Blake going to do his own little thing? Is he now going to be a baby face? It seemed like he didn't really attack Manson, right? From what I kind of remember off the top of my head, he just stopped Joey, it seemed like, and then that was it, and just flipped his own belt. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm interested more than ever, just because obviously that's what I always want, is just question marks, and that was a beautiful way to end that show. I wish I would have showed like kind of like after the scenes, like they did the day before, which is good, of people throwing shit into the ring, like how they did with Joey Janela in LA. So I'm glad they were able to kind of revisit that in Phoenix before the Phoenix show. But yeah, what happened? I don't know. Like I'm so excited, and like literally I'm not at a loss for words. I could come up with stuff off my head, but as that happened, I'm like, my booking mind kind of just turned off. because I have no idea
okay.
where to go from, who to what. Like, I just want to watch this now and see what the hell happens, because the feeling of not knowing and this big ass curveball to end LA show was a big cliffhanger in my opinion.
Dude, okay. There's so many ways that this can go. I think that's what you're saying. There's just so much can be done. Here's what we do know. There are 2 belts. Who made belt number 2? I'm assuming, given the fact that they're using it, Cardona. So Cardona bullshitted the fans and the entire company and then created a belt and said, guess what? We're stripping him. And that's just that. So Cardona's been caught. What happens? Does Brett come in at this point and say, look, we can't have this kind of chaos, because belts are expensive. So let's just say they took an old belt and put some new plates on it. The plates are expensive. This is an investment in a long-term storyline, I feel, because it would take a lot of money to make a belt just so you can unify it. So all we know for facts are we've got 2 belts and someone benefited from the second belt. You look at who benefited and there you're going to find, a little bit. So does this mean that nothing that happened in the last few months mattered? Is my next question. I mean, is all this just bullshit and Cardona just put us through a fever dream, which is possible. He may have sent us into a dream world for a couple months. We didn't know we were there until we woke up out of it. Surprise. We do have the same champion. This was just a dream.
Okay,
I know. Like, there's so much.
I'm just really glad too. Blake is right back there where he never left, because that's where I was kind of scared of. Are they going to nullify the last 9 months of what Blake did? Is that going to be just for nothing? Like, I'm glad they brought him back in, put him right back in his predominant place, and I don't know. Like, I that's why I was kind of going into the Colorado show with Mance Warner kind of doing it by himself and not needing the deathmatch royalty to get involved in that match. Kind of made it seem like maybe he's not working together with them, but then they made a very big spectacle, as that's the last thing we saw leaving COS, as him Mance with deathmatch royalty. So I don't know. I don't know if this is how Blake's going to be treated. It seemed like they're still hating Blake as much as Manser. So now we got 2 giant heels, but we need we need to build a face. Seems like Joey's going to be one. Okay, but who's going to be the other face that they build up to go after the 2 belts? Like, I have no idea. And like, feed it when we go into the next show, that didn't really help out either. I don't know.
Is that the NWO belt?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Let's see here. Trust DJ, you'll get a D. Okay. A 3-way unification. Joey as the uncrowned champ, since that goes back to the baby face. But Joey being, I don't know. Then if it's those 3 again, then I'm gonna go back to what I was complaining about with Joey being in there. I think that you can have Joey in there. We need to build a Jordan, build up a Speedball, build someone up. Like, a face needs to Cole. Throw Cole in there maybe as the 4th with the brass ring holder. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm very interested to see. Are we going to have like Team Cardona versus Team Blake versus Team Joey with GCW? Is there going to be another company that comes in and tries to do? I don't know. Like, it's fun.
I see a faction. I see a faction.
I see like 4 different ones.
What I was saying was you have an NWO and a GCW kind of thing. You have the guys who are trying to get things back on track, and then you have the other guys who are dominant with the belt. Again, here's the thing. Brett could just go, listen, Blake's still our champion. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, Cardona. I really don't know what you're doing. And it could all be nullified tomorrow. But we didn't have this whole storyline anywhere at all in our bingo cards. So what's beautiful about this is unpredictability. We may have just been put into a dream, and then he brings us out of it. We just found out. I have no idea. And that means then, is Mance champion? Is that going to get stripped? That can't possibly be stripped. So I think the storyline only goes naturally to 2 belts for a while. And again, Frank, I'm with you, unification, but I know with how much a belt costs on the independent scene, a unification would be a waste of thousands. Possibly.
That's Cardona. I can see Cardona doing that though.
For a dude, he got the Ecto 1. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't make a belt for a couple thousand and use it as a prop. He's made belts before. He's got belts that aren't even real that he comes out to the ring with. Delander has one. Jimmy has one. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like belts aren't available to him to be made. He made a GCW replica belt. He said Blake Christian, who isn't even here to defend himself, is getting stripped, and then he just went with it. That's pretty gutsy. That's an interesting story. It feels very 90s, but I just don't know what story from where.
I'm hoping Joey's not the big face and only face. I hope there's another GCW person that could. Effie's makes sense. Nick makes sense too. I don't know. It
has to be originals. It has to be originals.
Yeah, you know I can see Joey doing it. I can see Joey bringing the original, but then I don't know. I don't know that, and like I know it's a bad thing to say, but like there's just so many different stories that they could go here, and I think that's great. Like this is what I, as a fan, want. I don't want to be just picking Jordan Vance beating Jordan, and then now Jordan's going to be Broski the next night, and Joey. Like I want to be like, what the hell? I think I would like to see an invasion, yes, of some sort of, like I said, Cardona's got his own little thing. Blake could start getting some other people if he wants to and have his own little thing. Joey's got the Joey, and you could have the GCW regulars, but I would like to see like another company just kind of come right on in. That's kind of where we were like a long time ago when they were kind of wrestling for the tag belts. That's kind of what we were talking about back then. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, you have so many wrestlers who wrestle over at House of Glory that we already have a sleeper cell, a House of Glory performers in GCW deeply. You have Charles Mason, you have many others that are coming from that area. I would love to see some form of a partnership or an invasion just for fun. Why the hell not? And again, it's just a storyline. We should do something with that. Both squads benefit, I would say also. Also, we're back up to 700. So most people found their way back. Thank you for being so patient and coming back to us. We are so very sorry for that. And thanks for popping back in here. Frank, again, popping in here. The way Cardona is running DMR, it's already very peak authority. I'm with him.
Yeah, that's why I just don't know. Like, do you turn Blake into the Stone Cold, who's against Joey and against Matt Cardona, and have him be like the neutral? But I still think they need a strong face. In my opinion, not Joey. I would like to see another name with Joey, but I get Joey being the face to bring GCW back with all these craziness. So you're saying not Joey because what are you thinking? Joey has his own special time coming? Is what you're thinking? I Joey should be a part of this, yes, but I just think like he's not.
We knew this was coming.
Thank you. Welcome back, and thank you. No, I just see like I see Cardona having the power. He's got Mance to build up that side. I see Blake coming back with Mercer. Maybe he comes back with a different army and build a separate army to kind of go after Cardona. Then I see Joey. It's like, no, we need Nick Gage. I need like all the GCW regulars to pull back what we need. I just see another. I like to see like a younger face being like to be able to help Joey. Like, I don't know. I'm going to Jordan, but I don't want to specifically like be like a homer for Jordan. But like it could be someone like Jordan S. But like I guess Jordan is the youngest.
What about?
But like I said, he's on the other side now. Like I think he's like kind of in the middle of both of them, where he could kind of be like, yeah, like the little Stone Cold there, just kind of making messes for everybody while doing his own little thing. But it seems like the crowd reaction, he's going to be kind of slotted back into that heel just as Mance is, which is for me kind of surprising. I thought maybe Mance just took that over becoming the belt, and I thought Blake would kind of come back in a little bit better form, but I guess the way that he left and the way they brought him back makes completely perfect sense, and I'm just excited of where they could go. I honestly don't know how I would book this, and I would think I would have like 4 different factions is going at it, but even then you get a little bit too much. It just the way that Blake came back, I think, is what I was hoping for, that he wouldn't get lost in the shuffle and just be put off to the side. He came back, but also in a bigger way of I never left, fuckers. Like, what are you guys doing here? So I'm excited to see what could be done in the future. I would like to see kind of Blake build up a little army to go against the deathmatch royalty. Joey get the GCW regulars and kind of fight for it back, and Cardona scrambling to do whatever he can to stay relevant.
Dude, it's absolutely exciting. We have so many things that I feel are going to be parsed into so many buckets that it's just going to be fantastic. He said, "Hey Blake, what's your plan about killing Manser?" I have a feeling we're going to find out. I have a feeling we're really going to find out. This is so interesting. We had no stories a year ago.
And this is going to be so bad the way it's going to come out of my mouth, but I think you would understand where I'm coming from with this. But and like if you listen to us back in the Plant podcast days, I don't think I've ever been more excited and want to see Blake have a microphone in his hand to start off a show than I do the next show that they're like. I think when's the next show? Is it AC? I don't even know their schedule yet, but
give me a second. I'll give you an answer. The next show that they have is No Sleep coming from Houston, Texas, and then Crime Wave coming from Dallas.
He needs to start the show off in the middle of the ring like how Joey did, sitting in a chair with with Mercer just standing over his shoulder, Blake holding the belt, and be like, "What's up, bitches? I'm back!" Like I never left. Like what the hell? Like what? Like did you guys miss me? And him being in the ring, I think to give him the mic right now and just let him tell a story and get it all done. And I think that's going to be great. A great scene there whenever that does happen, and I'm excited. It's just crazy the way he came back and how they did it. As you said, you could have gave me a million guesses, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Hell no, and that's what made it great. It was exciting. It was nice to get all worked up for fun. Like it felt like the show was real for just 5-10 minutes, and that's what I love about it. I also sent a message over to Blake just in case he wants to see that.
If he wants to hop on our show right now and explain it,
I sent him a link.
I'd cut out the way right now. He wants to hop on and explain some actions for a quick second, give us a little tease. But man, I'm glad. Like we know I've been a Blake fan. I hated the booking around his championship run. This is already way better booking to get him back in that title than the whole title run that he had. And I'm excited for it. I'm hoping this leads to bigger and better things for Blake. And I'm glad that we didn't just end his title run the way that I was kind of afraid it did end. And it's fun. It's going to be fun.
I feel like it just got interesting.
I left that show like, what is happening? What's going to happen in Phoenix? Like, who's there's so many, as I know I keep saying question marks, but it's a good question mark. I'll speak when it's time. Yes. One drunk asshole. Joe. Thank you, Joe, and AC for that.
I just want to say this,
that guy just because of that.
Thanks, Bizzard.
Thanks, Biz.
You know what? GCW Plant Podcast, all of the episodes are still available if you ever wanted to go back through them. But we didn't even know it. We hit our 100th episode together quite a while ago and didn't even know it, dude. So I just figured I'd mention that out there too. If not, we're damn close. I have to do a count, but 82 plus, I think we've done close to 20 episodes here. Close, maybe 16 episodes. We'll have to count that up sometime. Blake. All right. When it's time. Yeah, you know what? We got a winky face. I'm just gonna say there's something in his mind.
I would like to be on
absolutely, Blake. You know how it is. Anybody who wants to come on, cut promos, do whatever they need to, speak their mind, drink 2 beers and burp and leave. It's cool with us. Not a problem. Okay, we got way off base here on this.
I was just about to say, going back to the LA show, I think that was an incredible way for me as a fan to end that night, because don't know. And if you don't know what's happening, I can't predict it. I didn't know what to expect the next night, even in Phoenix. I was wondering if it was going to carry over the next night. And I was like, no, I should have went to Phoenix for that stuff. But Blake returning, big surprise, big shocker. And I cannot wait to figure out what the hell is going to happen now with 2 belts in GCW with 2 different champions.
Wow.
All right, so let's go into the next night. Sunday night, GCW returns to the Nile Theater in Phoenix, Arizona for GCW's I Can't Feel My Face. And yeah, after what happened the night before, we see the opening of the show. They show Blake in the ring and having the stuff thrown at him and Blake doing his things there. And like I said, going into the Nile, I had no idea what to expect from the Phoenix show, and I was super plugged in for the next night when I watched it more than I was the LA show because I didn't know what to expect and what was going to happen in Phoenix.
All right, the Nile Theater. This is GCW's second time in Phoenix. At the first show, the fans were electric. Happened the same time also here. I have liked kind of like the ones that are overhead, like the bar lights with the ones that Rena hit with her foot the one time and knocked the lights down. I have those lights on my back patio. I'm a big fan of like those bar lights. Emil kicks off the show with an awesome pink Bret Hart shirt, and we are ready to roll into our first match.
And the first match is so I guess we should start off by saying a lot of this card was changed the day of because of, as we were talking about earlier, the travel issues and everything else. So yeah, this first match was not the originally scheduled one, but it ends up being Billy Starks versus Hunter Drake. And once again, for Hunter to get this big one-on-one matchup now after Gino Rivera, now he gets Billy Starks. I thought this was a big step up for Blake. Keep saying Blake now. Thanks, Blake. I keep thinking Hunter Drake. This is a big step up for him, and as much as he's improved in the short time that we've seen him, I was kind of really looking forward to seeing how this matchup was. And Billy Starks in Phoenix, she killed it, and this was a good matchup and really strong one, I think, for Hunter Drake.
That's well put. I didn't think about that until now. He did a damn good job in this one. Starks was out first, has her Ring of Honor Women's World TV Championship over her shoulder. Hunter Drake was stepping in for Brittany Brooks. This is their first meeting. Prazak was mentioning Art Bell out of Pahrump, Nevada. I just wanted to mention it too. I used to listen to Coast AM. Have you ever heard of that before, Brant?
I heard Art Bell, but I never listened to it.
Okay, check this out. Pre-internet, like 96, 98, 2000, you know what I mean? Like people were just getting internet. There used to be a show out of Pahrump, Nevada that went across the world. It was called Coast to Coast AM. And they would have AM and FM radio stations that it would play all over the world. And then they would open up the phone lines and it was like alien stories, ghost stories, all kinds of crazy shit. And for like weird people like me that like conspiracies and like ghost stories and stuff, it was the best. And if you were an insomniac and stayed up late, that show was on till like 2, 3, 4 in the morning some nights. So I just wanted to mention, for people who know who that is and is old enough to know who that is, that was like the ghost show before ghost shows happened. And that was the alien UFO show before any of those things became popular on Discovery and all those other channels. So long story made longer. That's what I wanted to mention with Prazak there. The crowd was behind Billy. Hunter was our heel. He was rough on her at times, and he got the crowd's reaction for it. Billy started to take over in the second half of the match. The last minute was a flurry of moves. Eventually, Billy hit a swanton dive for the win. You made good sense with the avalanche thing. It can't be an avalanche swanton. So no, that was a good point. That's what I have in this one. Again, I wouldn't say a quick match, but a little bit under average at 8 minutes and 42 seconds for a GCW match. What were your thoughts on Billy and Hunter?
Good opening match. Hunter looked really strong, stepped up. Billy had another good match, and the fans, Raleigh, that from earlier, from the Nile, he said the fans were even louder than they were the night before. And
really?
And he said that the TV on TV didn't kind of portray that. So I didn't want to throw that out there because I was watching it too, and I was like, it seemed just as loud. Like I remember, but you got to think, remember that Phoenix, that first match, like we were hot from the get go. It was just the action was just right from match one on. Like the crowd was hot. So I just think Phoenix is literally a hot crowd, but that was the one thing I noticed was I was kind of happy to see the crowd still have the enthusiasm for their second GCW show as they did the first one.
Just wanted to kind of throw that out there real quick. Anyway, Hunter Drake has become more of a regular, and so have a lot of the New South talent. I didn't see that coming when we first started watching GCW versus New South like a year and a half ago. We didn't predict that some of these talents were going to come in and be regulars, I guess, like they are now. So I think it's a nice injection of youth. I think that's the best way to put it. You have Bobby and Hunter and Braden, and there was one other gentleman. I almost said Gino. Yeah, Rico. All four of them, wonderful young talents. Again, I'm not against the four or maybe even a fifth one coming in and creating a small stable.
Yeah.
Just we're the fucking South. We're rising up. Give us respect.
I don't know. Is Mr. Danger with the group? I feel like I always see him with the group. I don't know where Mr. Danger's like where he's from. Isn't he like an AR Fox student? So wouldn't that be down in Atlanta where Toon and Flacco are? I think the Danger's with that little mid New South group. So I wouldn't mind seeing Mr. Danger with those people you just named for fifth member. They're always nice, but yeah, they've definitely delivered the New South group for sure.
I'm looking right now if I can get an answer real quick on that. And
if you look at the top of my head, if it has New South, like that's probably
I for the off the top of my head, I have no idea. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm so professional about that. It's interesting seeing GCW being a farm team for TV and then GCW also being such a goal for smaller feds. And no offense meant by that. Okay, I see what he's saying. Yeah, no offense made by that. I completely get it. I've thought for the longest time, if they were to go to TV, where the hell would they fit or go? Like HBO? Like Showtime? Like where would you put that on a Saturday night?
Yeah. I'll be honest. I don't even know TV stations no more. With the streaming service, just keep it on, find its own. And like, I think Triller's doing an excellent job, and like they are kind of like the backbone of Triller. I think from my perspective, and from what I've seen on Triller, but I could see them staying on their own little thing.
Frank just pushed a bruise on me. Frank just pushed a bruise. Do I really want to start this one? Yes, I do, actually. I think AEW picked the fuck out of the independent scene, which is what they were choosing to do because they wanted to build a roster. Great. Fantastic. GCW had to bounce back not only from COVID, but from the goddamn con picking that went through the locker room at that time. And then
I think you picked a lot of wrong ones, though. There's a lot of GCW ones that I see that I'm like, why are they not on TV, and why is that person on AEW and getting in a prominent spot right now?
Oh, and by the way, see, this really did touch it. How many injuries do you see on the average GCW show versus an average AEW pay-per-view? I'm just saying, and we're supposed to be the ones that are a little more dangerous, and we're a little more, fuck you, dude. Like, I watched Nick Wayne for a year and a half. I think he got a bloody nose once, maybe got cut one. I can't think of too much else. First night on fucking TV, maybe the first couple nights on TV, dude busted his fucking face, chipped his tooth. I'm like, what in the fuck? Why did we take care of him if you're just going to run him over there and abuse him? Like, what was the fucking point? You know, so I look at it like that. I'm happy they brought Nick Gage over, but they didn't really utilize him the way they could have. Joey had his chance. I think he will. I think he learned from his first chance, and he may have another chance if he wants to down the road. I'm not sure. Steph DeLander has really grown overall as a performer, and she may be going back to who knows where, because I think she's learned what makes her best as a heel, and I think she knows how to push that button now. She's a sensational Sherry. So who knows? Yeah, GCW would have been amazing in the Adult Swim days. Yeah, AEW really did cherry pick the shit out of the independent wrestling scene. And I think part of that was their strategy was to choke WWE from gaining any promising talent that has come up in the last 3 to 5 years. And I think the answer from WWE was to say, fuck it, we'll train our own people. We'll go out, we'll find sports stars from college teams and whatnot, and we'll develop them ourselves. So it's all in how you look at it. But yeah, between COVID and AEW, it really set GCW back. My opinion, as a fan, I think that's when I saw it go back, was between COVID and, you know, Jungle Boy getting picked up here and there, and all these other people just kind of being picked out of thin air. So they all had jobs, and that's what's nice. People who love what they're doing are getting paid to do it. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I'm all for people hitting goals. Alrighty. You good over there, bud?
Yeah.
You're like, what in the hell is that noise? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here on the side.
All right. On to match 2, my friend.
All right. Match number 2 is Man Like DeReese versus Jack Cartwheel. This was a more serious matchup, which I'm glad it did have its comedy spot, which it was fun seeing. I was kind of surprised by it, but it made sense. And I was glad to see these two kind of have a more physical, realistic matchup and kind of left all the funniest aside. And both of them, Jack Cartwheel, he's just improving every time too. And another good match with a Man Like DeReese, and then a totally different match than what he had the first 2 nights. And I'm glad he was able to just turn it on and turn it off when he needs to. And once again, another great performance and a great way to end a great weekend for a Man Like DeReese.
So I don't know if anyone else noticed, DeReese changed his entrance gear, and I like the change. He used to come out with the glasses that were purple and lit up, and now that's gone. It's just a pair of black glasses, and then he's got like a black, like the do-rag kind of thing on his head. So yeah, he's kind of he's changed his image a little bit, a little more hardcore, I think is a good way to put it. After last night, DeReese could become a lovable face if he chooses. And this goes back to what I was mentioning. I believe that would also include his tag team partner, Leon Slater from Boisterous Behavior, if they choose to work together in GCW, which again, if they want to, bolster the tag team division, that would be a great way to do it. I was laughing at fans chanting Viva Van, and almost immediately DeReese acts like he has no control over his body, and he does the stink face on Jack. I didn't see that one coming either. I love surprises. That was fucking hilarious. My next note, oh no. Cartwheel pulls up his trunks and exposes butt cheeks. What the fuck is happening? Also, I am happy to hear there were natural 0121 chants coming from the crowd without prompting. That's always a good sign. This is a step up from the first match that we had here at this show. I would have almost had this match as number 1, but I wouldn't have wanted to follow it. To me, Jack and DeReese are very similar in many ways. I like it a lot. DeReese hit the cool runnings for 3, and the fans came up and started beating on the mat. In 11 minutes and 20 seconds, Man Like DeReese goes over. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, they killed it. That was good match. Stylistically, yeah, both are very similar. They both had a good wrestling match with the fun comedy spot in there, and I enjoyed it. Like I think it was perfect for both of them. Jack had the big match against Sydney, and then another big match against Man Like DeReese. And like I said, Man Like DeReese got to show a bunch of different phases of his wrestling and personality throughout this weekend, and I'm glad he did it, and he delivered all weekend long.
I'll put this one up here too. Man Like DeReese has an almost Eddie Murphy sense of timing and facial expressions. Yeah, he does. And also he knows where the camera is. He opens his eyes nice and big when he's surprised. Like he almost took classes. He's that damn good at it. And he was so animated, almost childlike, that I thought was impressive. So nothing but wonderful things and thumbs up on Man Like DeReese and Jack Cartwheel, who, again, I wouldn't mind seeing these two team up either for something small if they needed to. Body type, size, whatnot was very similar, and both move quick as lightning.
Yeah. Our third matchup was one of these Prompt 2 put together matches, as is the 8-person tag match as the first team. Oh, okay. Let me see if I just look at
It's
the Young,
Young,
Dumb,
Dumb,
and
and Broke,
Broke, Garbage,
Garbage Daddies,
Daddy,
Kids.
Kids. Yes.
Kids. Bodie was the kid.
Holy shit.
Fuck, that was impressive.
Oh, that
Versus
team is Alec Price, Bodie, Cole Radrick, and Jordan Oliver going against the Brick Shithouse Tune team of Braden Toon, Jordan Cruz, Rob Shit, and Sam Stackhouse. This is going intro's longer than the damn match over here. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Yeah, I was happy to see all these teams put together and the way they were thrown in there. This one, a bunch of, once again, fan favorites, but I also thought this was like the GCW fan favorites going against the local kind of talent fan favorites, and they all delivered, man. Like, Stackhouse is just fitting right in with in all these matches, and I was glad to see him get in there in this match and cause a little bit of havoc with all the competitors.
I talk enough with Stackhouse to let you know that really touched him when the fans, chanted his name. I just want you guys to know that, as from fans to fans, that really touched him. So I just wanted to kind of know that I want people to know that, the acceptance of people wanting to see him wrestle, like all wrestlers, really mattered to him. And I just wanted to put that out there as a heartfelt, So for Brick Shithouse Tune, I was thinking, what about Braden's Brick Shithouse? Instead of Tune, we just put Braden. Yeah, Braden's Brick Shithouse. I don't know. I think that would have been better for that one. So I was thinking, wow, when I found out 8 men will be in the ring at the same time with the lack of room ringside at the Nile. But they all handled it really well, especially the topes with chairs that close. You can smack your head off the back of a chair, which I think we saw Megan Bain do in LA, but I forgot to mention it. And in this match, Jimmy. No, Megan did it too. Moon did a tope out to the outside, and Megan cracked her head off the back of a fucking chair, and she was like holding her head on the ground. I just wanted to kind of mention the show, or this match started off with Jordan versus Jordan wrestling, Oliver versus Cruz. Cruz's head scissors on Bodie had me fucking laughing. I felt like he was defying physics. The "We Want Stackhouse" chants that I was just talking about. I have to say, in LA, Las Vegas, and Phoenix, 100%, Sam Stackhouse is over. Second half of the match, the tag rules were gone. Everyone went to the skies. There were topes everywhere. Sam took a dive to huge GCW chants. Watching this match, I can see Jordan is still injured some. How much, I don't know. It really did affect me because I like the dude a lot. Garbage Daddies teamed up on Jordan Cruz, finished with a top rope double foot stomp for 3. A little under 11 minutes for an 8-man tag team match. Bodies, arms, face everywhere around here. What are your thoughts on this crazy ass match?
That was fun. That one was a fan friendly match. That was like, if you like had a bunch of shit happen and you had to put a bunch of fan favorites to get the crowd happy, I think that's what you do, and that's what exactly happened. And I was glad to see all like the local Braden and Jordan Cruz and all them get this spotlight match with the regulars, and Bodie teaming with young broke garbage daddy kids made perfect sense as well.
Young, dumb, and broke garbage daddies. Yeah, that was what it was. I had to think about it.
That was good. All right. Next one, probably the match I was really looking forward to all weekend, especially in Phoenix show, though, is Zilla Fatu versus the one called Manders. I thought this was just as big as matchup for Manders as it was Zilla. Manders has been on a tear lately in GCW, and we've been talking about how much of a leader he's been, and especially over Collective Weekend, and how much he showed and was out in the ring. And I think him leading this match against Zilla was a big, not challenge for him, but I figured like stylistically they could just put on a good match, but Manders kind of being able to keep Zilla under control and pop out when it was the times right. They did an excellent job, and Manders definitely brought the hard strikes to Zilla, but then Zilla just brought that explosiveness, and this was a fun matchup and one of the most hard-hitting matchups of the weekend.
I want to hit this statement before because someone, do not fret, citizen, wrote it before we finished. Stackhouse made his GCW debut in Las Vegas, playing his role as the humble and quiet stagehand before stepping into the ring with Cardona. I completely forgot that, dude.
I was there at that show. That was good. The crowd. That was the first time I saw Stackhouse when he did the tope outside. The fucking for someone who I've never heard of, the fans fucking erupted. Yeah. Like no other. And then when he did like his backflip off the second rope, I think the fans were like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, he's killed it since day one in GCW.
Dude, I remember losing my shit the first time I saw Vader. Again, I'm showing my age, but I'd have to say Stackhouse is probably the biggest guy I think I've ever seen come off the ropes with a backflip. That's absolutely impressive. And I think Vader at the time was like 350, 375. So I think Stackhouse is running like 450. Don't kill me, Stack, if I'm off by 25 or 50 one way or another. I'm so sorry, but I'm just guessing. Maybe 425. I like 420. Good number. So we'll say he is 420. Let's see what else here. Yeah, I'll stop right here. Bizzard, I do want to get back to you. It's another bruise I don't want to push right now, but yeah, the cherry picking and the ECW versus GCW, dude. AEW and WCW are running very similar on a couple things right now, but not. I don't know, man. Anyway. Okay. I'm trying to stop myself from going on to that subject because I know we've been running decent time tonight. So I'm just going to be honest on Zilla Fatu. I'm not sold on the main one as a nickname yet. I feel it's somewhat generic, but I think over time it'll get cleaned up into maybe something else. I feel it's a good starting point. Like everything else with Zilla, he's still finding himself, and GCW fan support matters. So I feel like it's smart on GCW to get his early work on tape because the feeling is that he's going further. It's just a matter of when. He's got a clean face, good look, good body. He's willing to work. So, I mean, we might as well get as much tape as we can on him right now in his early years. Manders has found himself in the singles department. I feel like he's his own man now. He's a solid hoss. I feel that booking has helped. The heavy chops and lariats have been a big problem for his opponents. This match here featured two big guys beating the shit out of each other is what I wrote down in my notes. Manders bit Zilla's thumb tape off the thumb he executes his Samoan spike with, then bit his thumb later. Zilla then bit Manders' arms. It's like watching two kids fight on the playground. And it's funny, especially since I see wrestling as like two 6-year-olds fighting. Zilla's torpedo tope was insane and looked great on camera. When people launch themselves like a missile and a tope, I'm just going to start calling it a torpedo tope. I don't know what else to do with it. I love the spot where Zilla went for the spike and Manders hit a stiff lariat. I honestly thought it was over after that. Moments later, Zilla hit the spike for the win. In the end, Manders puts up the one for Zilla and they both hug it out. There's so much to unpack here. I'm going to throw it back at you. 10.5 minutes. They had some beautiful spots between the both of them. They were both able to shine in their own way. And it was very complimentary as a wrestling match. What do you think?
I love the biting spots of the lariat and the thumb, but then also, yeah, you said that lariat as before the spike hit Manders, that one popped me good. Like I jumped on that one. I was kind of shocked to see Manders pick up I don't know, like I know they're protecting Zilla, but damn, he can lose every once in a while at this young age. Nick was losing nonstop at his young age. So it is kind of, for me, a little bit shocking to see Zilla keep getting these big singles wins over the bigger names, especially like one called Manders and Cole this weekend. So that was kind of a shock to me. But Zilla has definitely found it, is finding his footing. I think he found a good base with his explosiveness and just going balls to the wall to make the GCW fans happy. But this match definitely popped me. They both delivered, and it was a fun, fast-paced, hard-hitting match. And Zilla held his own once again with Manders. Our fifth matchup, another one that was put together that I think for me couldn't have been booked any more perfectly, was Megan Bayne versus Kylie Ray. Two names I'd love, never even said they should fight together, but man, once I saw this match was announced, I was in for it. This is another like big matchup for Megan Bayne to prove herself to the GCW fans. Kylie Ray being a perfect opponent. And I think a good opponent just to either you want to show off the heel Bane or the face version of Bane and make her look good.
Yep.
Whatever you wanted to do, Kylie Ray was a perfect opponent for Megan, and they both delivered. Kylie's so good. It's like every time she shows up, like how with Megan Bane, like these two is who I would be building the women's. If they were able to bring that women's title back, these two would be the ones carrying that division for me because they just are tremendous in the ring and like their presence, their aura. Kylie Ray, as much as she gets being in the ring and to get whatever reaction she wants out of the fans, I would absolutely book these two a lot more against each other, and they delivered. And I'm so happy to see this match because, like I said, not one I would have named off the top of my head, but once I saw it announced, I was all in for it, and they were awesome. It was good, really good match, and I'm glad Phoenix was the crowd that got it with as hot as they always are. They, I think, provided a lot during this matchup.
I'm so happy that that GCW has put their arms around Phoenix so well. It's kind of a smaller market a little bit, but the fans don't make it sound that way. Pound for pound, they have probably some of the loudest fans on the West Coast. Not gonna lie, I've sat front row. I've partaken in it a couple of times. Two very different personalities between Megan Bayne and Kylie Ray. Kylie's the veteran that can basically have a great match with anyone, and with Bayne, she did. She fought very hard against Megan. I also want to mention here, Kylie is fantastic with families and kids. They love her so much. So again, that's another thing that I really am a big fan of Kylie for, especially since on the independent scene, it's sometimes really hard to find something that's really kid and family friendly, but can also go inside a GCW ring and hand out ass beatings the way she does. Not bad. Megan had so many power moves, it was hard for someone of Kylie's size to stay in the match. She took a lot of punishment. There were glimmers of hope, but Megan kept getting the upper hand. Side note, Megan points or acknowledges the people who chant for her, and that actually means a lot for some of the fans. Cole Radrick is another one who does that too. Some fans, when they do start a chant, they really want to be noticed, or they just really want to be acknowledged. And a wrestler looking at the person and pointing is almost as good as a thank you. And fans remember that. And it makes the fans want to chant more because they want to be acknowledged again. This is how it works. I just wanted to mention that. Megan Bayne still pulled out the win. I've watched many shows, and I still get Beth Phoenix vibes from her. There's something mixed in with the 80s and 90s I can't describe yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. But either way, it's something different than anything else we have. And you put the dominance in there with it, and just, yeah, Megan's going over like crazy right now. And I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, I am too. And this match, it was perfect for both of them. They delivered, and I'm glad they were able to get some time to have a good matchup. That was good. That was for a surprise matchup. I was definitely surprised, happy, and thrilled with everything that they provided there. All right, our next match is Team Thrusty again, going against the team of Los Macizos and Moon, with Sandra Moon this time. Yeah, it was a good matchup. Like I said, the Thrusty, like Effie's kind of like just back in the Thrusty role. They having good matchups against other trios, and yeah, it's a good fan friendly matchup, good comedy spots, and for me, seeing Los Macizos being able to interact with Ali and Effie again was fun for me.
They do work so well together. I don't know how it is, but they just do. Yeah, Macizos and Moon were together. For me, I just felt like it was an awkward match, but we have it. Thrusty is out, and Sheik has, again, an amazing outfit. I wish I knew comic books more, because then I could go, oh, cool. The match starts, and it's more of a fun match, if anything else. 8.5 minutes. There was so much going on. I didn't write it all. I just couldn't write it all down. Someone grabs chairs and a door. Fans are now giving us door chants. They have been waiting all night for doors and weapons to come out. Miedo makes a door bridge. Macizos send Effie through the door bridge with a doomsday device, and Dark Sheik covers Moon for the win. Yeah, 8.5 minutes. More Macizos as much as possible, as often as possible. Thrusty, they're crowd pleasers. They're always doing the job right. So Yeah, this one was a match of favorites more than anything. And yeah, I think Sandra Moon they threw in just to make the third and whatnot. But I don't know how functional she was I don't know. I'm not a big fan of hers. So for me, it's like, here she is again. Here she is again. I don't know who she's friends with. Here she is again. And I don't see anything. So like I said, I'm not a fan of what she's providing right now. But I've said it before. I was not a big fan of Isaac Yankem, but I was a big fan of Kane. So we'll see what character develops over time. I may be into it down the road, but right now I just feel like she's rather vanilla for GCW, and she needs more personality if she wants to stick out on the roster and be around in the long term.
That's fair. I didn't. I think this is the second time she's been paired with Los Macizos, and I didn't understand why as well. So, but get to see Los Macizos back. I'm always happy. All right, the next matchup was supposed to be Fuego del Sol against Nick Gage, but Nick Gage ended up, I guess, suffering an injury during his match with Orin Vite. So Fuego del Sol offers a open challenge.
So I went back and looked at that. What happened was Nick was on the ground and Orin landed on his leg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just went back and looked at it because I'm like, okay, he got injured. What happened? And then when I went through my notes and went back through the video, I saw it on there. Okay, so this was a surprise, Fuego and Sam Stackhouse. Fuego has become an exciting addition to GCW. He offers an open challenge since Nick Gage was too injured to compete tonight. Most importantly, he's great on the mic. If anybody wants to do feel free to listen to him. He's fast. He's quick talking, which means his brain is working like crazy. Definitely put him on the mic again. The challenge goes out and crazy enough, Sam Stackhouse answers the challenge. I put in my notes, what? So Stackhouse is pulling double duty. Hey man, I think it's honest that he can do that though. I mean, dudes, don't look at size. I have heard from so many wrestlers, they literally say, dude is an athlete. And if you understand how much leg strength it takes for someone to push to do a backflip, feel free to try. No kidding. I'm 100 pounds, 150 pounds less. I can't do a front or backflip. I can't even walk up the steps without falling, just to be honest with you. Stackhouse, yeah, he was pulling double duty. Interesting choice. Also, more people need to get on that Stackhouse chant in his song. I don't know if anybody's heard it, but there is a Stackhouse chant built into his song purposely. Take advantage of it if you're fans. Personally, I would have held this match for a grudge. It's obviously these two are a cohesive tag team waiting to happen in their earliest of times, and most people know they're friends. So I would have probably let them be together for a while, and I would have saved this match for the split. Make a little money off the ticket sales on that one.
This could set up that match, though. If the split ever does happen, they could always go back to this match and hold it over.
Intelligent, smart. I didn't think about it that way. Thank God one of us is thinking tonight.
I enjoyed. As you said too, though, I was the same way. Like Stackhouse is taking it. Like out of really, I'm like okay, like. Stackhouse versus Fuego, I'll take it. Even though Stackhouse has had a match, I'm interested to see how that's going to go. But yeah, pulling double duty, we don't see that happen often in GCW, and especially in this kind of like way. But I thought it was cool because it was him answering the challenge. Like, hey,
yes,
you want to make your name a name for yourself. I want to make a name for myself too. And you have the kind of the bigger AEW name, and we're friends. So I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity you're giving me. And it made sense, but I was shocked, but I loved it. I was glad. I was really happy for Stackhouse to get that moment, to get a double duty night, a shocking return, a match against your friend in Phoenix. Like, yeah, it was like a perfect way to end like the weekend for him too. I thought after he he killed it all weekend. So once again, another great performance by Stackhouse, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a road warrior too. So I bet you he drove all the way home feeling electric from everything that happened, from the chants to the wonderful matches. Double duty on this show. I mean, all right, so back to it. They brawled all around the outside of the ring here. Fuego with a coast to coast, an awesome sunset flip into a power bomb. Stackhouse wouldn't give up until Fuego hit him with a Canadian Destroyer 4-3 in little under 9.5 minutes. Fuego del Sol picks up the win. Yeah, this match was just a surprise. I don't know what else to say about it. It felt like a whirlwind because it was just so quick. It was towards the end of the night. It was the setup for the main event. So I don't know. Anything else you got to say about it?
No, it was good. A cool moment for me is for what I took away from a cool moment. I kind of felt bad for Fuego a little bit because he didn't get that big Nick Gage match that he's probably really wanted to kind of make a name for himself in GCW. But I think his time will come. I think he'll keep on having good matches. He can wait a little bit longer on Nick or Joey or another big ass name for him to make his mark. But I think with matches like this against Sam Stackhouse and the little story that they had, I think it went a long way. Putting him in the GCW fans' mind as well.
Oh my gosh. So before the main event, Mance Warner comes out. He's holding his GCW World Championship. I actually wonder how he got that back. He grabs
I don't like that. I don't like that. Sorry, that's a little thing for me too. Like, could the continuity, like, or whatever
continuity,
continuity. That little thing kind of pissed me off too. I'm like, oh man, like they could have done something like, Blake, I want my fucking belt. Like, I'm coming for like that. Set something up like that. Like, I didn't like him coming out with the second belt as well.
I just want to say, I don't know if we've had 800 people live in our room at
this is our biggest podcast
at 2 a.m. in the morning. So thank you everyone for showing up here. Yes. We're still going. We're just now covering the main event here. So yeah, he was holding that championship. He goes ahead and he grabs a mic. He said he's the only GCW world champion. He said Blake got stripped because he couldn't make a date that he couldn't make. He said to triple check with Tony Khan if he can show up, which was kind of a and I like that. I like that.
Mance's promos have been on par. They've been on point. They've been so good, dude. That, like, when he made that comment too, I'm like, damn, he's just getting away with everything.
And it's just enough to where it sounds like he's pulling back the curtain, but he's not, kind of thing. So it gives the fans a little something to bite on, and they feel like they're getting something. So yeah, Joey comes out. He says, I speak for everyone in Arizona. Fuck you, Mance. Fuck SDL, and fuck Matt Cardona. Joey gets on a group with fans because they're doing the what chant. I thought it was nice that he kind of shut that down. He basically said it's, not the early 2000s anymore. Really it's throwing him off, and it's bullshit, and there's no reason to do it because it serves no purpose. I think that's why he did it that way. Jimmy attacks Joey from behind. Perch comes to the ring, separates both men, and he signals for the bell to be rung. That was the happenings that started our main event.
And the main event for GCW's I Can't Feel My Face in Phoenix is Joey Janela versus Broski Jimmy. I'll wait for you. I'll piggyback off you. I didn't have too many notes on this.
The Bizzard said, I'm still here too. Hell yeah, man. This is awesome. It's a good night so far. We're just having a good time trying to get through. Let me go ahead and do my numbers real quick here. Our show tonight, we have covered 27 matches spanning 497 minutes. So that's how much show that we had reviewed this past weekend. All right, so let's get back into this. Joey's now fighting injured from the blind shot to the back of his head from Jimmy. Mance jumped on commentary. This match was part of a grudge match from the fucking Joey's gotten from Jimmy lately. Doors and chairs are coming out early. Joey struggled for the first few minutes to get in any offense or advantage. Jimmy gets hit with a sunset powerbomb into a chair, and Mance said, oh my God, right in his asshole. Which Mance's accent plus something funny off the cuff is always enjoyable. He has such a great sense of humor that every now and then comes out in his heel work. And if you're smart enough to hear it, it's good. Respectfully, there was a lot of time for setting up doors and chairs. I don't want to lie here. With the time that they had, at some point, they probably could have just covered their opponent, called the match. Joey hit a nasty Death Valley driver that felt like he turned the tables in the match, and Jimmy hits a spear through a table to turn it back around. Joey hits that JoJo Siwa dance. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Joey's X and you're going to find out everything about that. He's been catching shit all night about it, and he's been owning it at the same time. Jimmy was showing frustration as he was trying to put Joey away, and he wasn't having an easy time with it. Joey goes for the cover, and Mance enters the ring and hits Joey with a chair. Out of nowhere, Megan Bain with a spear. Jimmy super kicks Megan. Joey goes to the top rope and hits the double foot stomp for the win. So Joey Janela wins at 14 and a half minutes. Mance retreats and stands on the stage pissed off. That is how we go off the air in Arizona. What do you think, man?
Good. It was a good story. I'm glad Mance was able to further this stuff along with Blake. I wish more would have been done to address that situation, because that's like the fucking elephant in the room right now, literally in GCW. So I wish a little bit more would have been done there. I'm glad though Mance Warner did like say, no, you got stripped because you couldn't make the dates. That makes it seem like it's more acceptable to take the belt off him. In that way, when you say it out loud to the fans and stuff like that. So I was glad he acknowledged that as well. But I just wish a little bit more was done to kind of like why is Blake here? What's he going to do? What's going to happen? So as Blake said though earlier in the chat, I think we'll have to wait and see and give it some time, as he said. And yeah, good main event, good way. Like kind of this Jimmy's just like, I'm so glad he's got focus now. Like he was invested in all these little stories. Like even though he's doing it on behalf of Deathmatch Royalty, like he's still getting involved with Jordan. He's still wrestling Joey. He's like all around the show, and like he's a focal point of the show especially when Cardona's not there. And as you said way earlier at the beginning of the show, he's done a really good job of accepting that role and excelling in it as of late with this character and his promos and stuff. And I thought this was a cool way to end this show, and it made storyline sense of Joey getting his payback on Jimmy Lloyd and Deathmatch Royalty.
Yeah, I feel like we still get Cardona if Cardona's not there with Jimmy. It's like Cardona light, and it's well done. And if you really pay attention to absolutely by proxy, and if you really pay attention to STL's mic work, you're going to find a lot of Cardona in there too.
Yeah,
I think what's going on is there's a formula he has there that works, and he just said, "Here's my formula. You're part of my squad. Use it. This is our thing." And I think that's what's going on here. Yeah, Mance was the addition. You said you'd still like, or was it me that was saying we'd still like maybe a young gunner with Cardona's group? I think I was asking about Jordan, and you said probably not Jordan.
I think we talked about that last episode I was on. Yeah, we talked about that. Like I don't know. Like I said about it. Cool. No, well, I know it's 3 hours in. Like it's just something we talked about earlier, the Blake stuff. Like I'm gonna try to come up with how I would book my way out of. Or not out of, like, this is a good problem to have. Like, I don't want to make this like all my bitching about the GCW World Title scene and the booking of it. This is one of the best things that's happened since Blake's been champion. Like I said, It's not a shot on Blake. It's been my problem's been the booking of everything, and now
there's purpose.
But there's like, I don't know. There's just questions. Like I know I keep saying there's just questions, and I don't know.
Isn't it great?
I love it. Like I was so happy, so stoked, and that's not where I thought they were going to go at all, especially this weekend.
Yes.
Even whenever Blake were to come back, I didn't think this would how they would be injecting him back in, but I'm glad. And yeah, we'll see. I kind of hope we get like just faction warfare. Like I just love faction warfare, especially like when they're all fighting for stuff, especially in GCW. Like you could have so many things, and Joey leading one group to take GCW back. You got the outsiders coming to do something in GCW and using their brand. You got Cardona needing to stay relevant by keeping the champion in his group. And then you got Blake Christian coming in saying, listen here, I was a champ and I never lost. So I don't know what you guys are doing here. And there's just a lot of places to go. So I'm excited for it.
I want to see Cardona talk about the belt and everything else. And I'd love to see Brett just pick up a microphone and go, Blake has the belt. What the fuck is that belt? And where did you get it? And why are you ruining my show with it? Then. Well, of course he should have, but that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brett could blow this whole story, wide open real quick.
I hope he doesn't. I want to see it play.
No.
I don't want to see him blow it up and go figure. I want to see this play out. I don't want a solution right away. I want to see craziness. I want to end shows of wait, is he the champ? Is that count? Who is? I want to end a bunch of shows with question marks. That's what I really want, and I think it would be a fun way to book these next couple of shows, especially going into if they're going on a Japan tour and stuff like that. Leave the fans in a bunch of question marks until you come back.
So when's that Japan tour? Is that July or August, right?
Don't think it's August. I forgot where it was. I was actually just on it.
Let's see. Yeah, August 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Okay. Yeah. Also, then they come back and go right to LA. Jesus Christ.
Well, okay. So that was the other thing I was looking at. A couple days later is LA, and Tokyo is already a day ahead of us. And this happened before where GCW worked LA a couple days after Japan. So I don't, the Blizzard's asking, do you think that Chad Gable was killed off last night on Raw? Maybe he could be going to GCW. First of all, if he went to GCW, he could come on right in anytime he wants to. And I want to see him go up against Jack. I want to see him up against Ninja. I want to see him up against Darius. I'm cool with anything you want to do with him.
Gable fits in, and Brett would fucking give him the world. Yep. I'm pretty sure Brett loves Gable. I remember back in the Twitter Spaces, every time Gable was on, he would always sing his praises and everything. That is speaking of question marks. Yeah, last night the way that Raw ended was fucking crazy. But yeah, I just think wrestling's better with cliffhangers. TV shows are better with cliffhangers. You don't want to know what's going to happen or what's this. You want to be on your toes. I want to be wrong, in all my statements and stuff. I love to be tossed a curveball and thrown this and thrown that and everything. Look at my reaction to Blake, and then look at my reaction going into Manson Jordan. I'm like, oh fuck. I felt like Roman. It's like Roman Reigns. It's in John Cena. It's the missionary over and over, and then boom, we got this curveball with Blake coming back in. It's just that's what I want. I want to not know what's going to happen and be on my toes and try to figure out what the hell is going to happen. Because obviously that's what I love to talk about on this podcast is what is going to happen instead of what did happen.
Yeah. Someone got a hold of me last night. It's like, did you see the entrance and this and that? I'm like, yeah, I watched a 5-6 minute video, and I'm starting to think maybe I need to get back to watching a little WWE again. Cause I feel like I'm missing out. There's something's better.
Yeah, last night, I don't know. Last night's a big, what the hell? Because the way they did a bunch of stuff, they literally looked like Gable got shot in the head and is sitting there to die. And then, I'm like, is that them killing him off? Because are they not signing him? And is that the way they're saying, hey, he just committed career suicide?
He's the sixth member.
No, there's no sixth member. There is no sixth member. Bray's the sixth member. Bray's the sixth member.
Oh, that's fair.
It's spirit. He's the one controlling everything from above still.
All right.
So I know from the WWE, but like I said, it was because of questions and Blake ending LA show.
Yes.
I was more into the Phoenix show than before. I was into the Phoenix show because it was a strong card. Even before all these changes that happened, and they still booked a really strong card on the fly with all the different changes. But I was really wondering how they're going to address this thing. And Matt's promo was a good one. I wish it would have done a little bit more. But yeah, I'm in a very good place now than what I was going into kind of the Vance Warner title run. Even though I was excited for the newness and see what's happening, and he's kind of killed it so far. The question marks with Blake being here is cool. I didn't think it'd be this early. I didn't think it'd be this early too in Manser's run. It's right away. What the hell?
I want an answer as soon as possible because I want to know if we should be celebrating Blake's 1 year of having the title. And here's what's fucked up. This is going on when we should be celebrating his 1 year of having that world title. So this kind of, it's kind of like, they glazed over a really nice thing that they could have celebrated. So there must be something really big to it. I don't know who comes out in all of this though, because part of me almost feels bad for Blake for getting fucked. And he's a bad guy. And I'm kind of actually this is where I would be cool with a face flip because I'm actually behind. I'm pro Blake on this one. Fuck those guys. He went over to handle business. He kicked ass doing it. And then they pulled the rug out from under him. He's sitting and going to bed with the fucking title every night. And then he turns on the TV and some joke has a new title and says, this is the title. I'm stripping him. It's like, not only that, but he's laying with the title in Japan. So, I mean, yeah, it's very exciting with what could happen here.
Yeah. And I felt bad for Blake because, like I said, I didn't expect him to be thrust right back into this main event world title holder. I thought there would be kind of not, I don't want to make like how Effie kind of is now. Now that he's got Mance, he's back to doing what he was doing, where it made it feel like this whole thing was not for naught, but it made sense for what it was. I felt bad for Blake for that. I feel kind of bad for Mansoor. Like, this is how he starts off his title run too, with the because he's had a strong performance, like so far, strong promos and strong reaction as a champion. And now you got Blake, like it's kind of taken away from his moment as well. Joey, I don't care. This goes into the whole face thing. Like, good. This is good for Joey's story. I don't think Joey needs a story. I would love to see just face a regular Jordan, a Alec, a Cole, somebody that could come in and take Joey's spot to reclaim GCW back. But that's just me and my GCW mind. Yes, kind of like yes, there are 2 GCW champions. So.
Yeah, man. That's what's crazy, Bizzard. We were our GCW world champion went to Japan to go into the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, which is another company. Well, during that time, we had a major storyline booked, and for whatever reason, they decided that they were going to strip him of his title, which was done by Matt Cardona, a heel, and said, well, we're going to have a tournament for a new champion. All this went down, including the tournament. We had a new winner. That was Mance Warner. And then a couple weeks later, here comes Blake back from Japan with his fucking title around his waist going, what the fuck, guys? So there you go, Bizzard. That's kind of what we're talking about is right now we figured that Blake has the real title because it's around his waist, but where the hell did the other title come from? Which we're thinking Cardona probably created it for a storyline. And so I'm wondering then, was Mance working with, Cardona this whole time from the beginning to take that title?
Yeah, it's been a little over a month since Blake was in GCW last against Danhausen.
Yeah,
Danhausen was the last defense.
No kidding. Yeah, so Bizzard, that's what you're hearing is basically, the big guy came back into town and he's like, I'm still the fucking champion. What are you talking about? So why the cat's away, the mice were playing. And Cardona was injured and said that he could be a manager if he's injured. So that's how he became GM. So yeah, we do have some decent storylines going on at GCW right now. And that makes it a hell of a lot easier for us to sit down together and talk about. By far, it's a lot easier to talk about this storyline than it is to talk about the excellent front flip that someone took off the top rope.
And see, now even like just going back and realizing that Blake's last championship or last match, last time seen in GCW was against Danhausen. Cardona technically helped Blake keep that belt by reversing the decision of Danhausen using the weapon. And so, like, yeah, Cardona could come back and say, if it wasn't for you, you wouldn't even be the champion no more. So back off. I don't know. It's fun.
I think they're setting up Blake. From what you just said there, it sounds like they're setting up Blake. They're targeting Blake. This is where I'd make him a face. Yeah, they're fucking with me. They're targeting me. I am your fucking champion. Whether you like me or not, I'm getting fucked. And you can go with me on this one or not, but I just completed a year. I worked hard in Japan. I came back and somebody made a fake title and said that this is the real title to a point to where it even tricked the big man. And yeah, because right now, as us as educated fans, quote unquote, I'm behind Blake. I'm behind Blake in this one because all the heels have the belts and all the bullshit, and it's not like Blake isn't a heel. But in this situation, he's put as a face. He's placed as a face in this one, so maybe we'll see a change. That's another idea.
I think he is a better face than a heel for sure, just based off his moveset and everything. And then I think like because he has to tone it down, that kind of hurts. Like I think when he was obviously flying around and getting the face stuff like with his moveset, it was a lot easier to cheer him. And I think it's going to be easy to go back to that than what it will be to kind of keep this. I don't know, like he'd have to have a heel off against Mance Warner. And I don't think that's a fight that he wants at this moment right now in character development. So,
and fans will draw lines, and Mance is making himself very unlikable, which again puts Blake in the face position.
Okay, so here you go. You put though Blake in LA against Mance Warner. Who's LA cheering for?
Blake in LA versus Mance Warner.
Right now, put him in there for the title versus title unification match. Who's the crowd going to root for?
Oh gosh. See, I'm going for Blake in this situation, so I would think LA would want to go more for Blake. Who do you think?
LA
do you think Mancer because he's aggressive?
Oh my God, yeah.
Good idea.
LA is like, they want the GCW regulars. They love Mance when he's in this way. They don't like the hokied up Mance Warner doing this stuff. They love the bloodshed Mance Warner. And so like I think just it's going to be easier. The fans would go back to Mance Warner than they would go back to Blake, I think, at this point. And as weird as it sounds, but I think Blake could do it easily given the right booking, unfortunately. That hasn't been there for him. I think he could easily become the face here, but yeah, I don't know. That's just a little thing I wanted to.
Isn't that exciting? So right now we have the possibility of our champions being Mance or Blake. And right now those are both bad guys. So we're looking for a face, which is what you were talking about. I'd love to see Gringo do something, but I don't know if Gringo's in the position to actually run like that as a champion, but I put something online as a quote that I think it was Kevin Nash that said, he said, heels don't make money as the champion. Heels make more money chasing the championship.
Baby faces.
Baby. He says they don't make money with the championship. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
No, you're good. No, and I agree. It's easier, but it's only if you have a face that's built up for the chase. That's the problem. They have not been doing GCW in over a year.
You're right.
Who's been the face they built up? Joey. Okay. But they didn't even need to build him up. Like they need to build up I think another face to kind of go at this. That's not Joey, in my opinion.
Well, this is, I think, where Effie comes back in. Maybe Effie takes out Mance. What I'm saying is I think they're giving it a breather for a while, but I think if he comes back in the picture, people are going to go nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to have a lot to talk about next week. That's for sure too.
So yeah, next week, as of right now, guys, we are working to get a guest to come on with us. We're working on a couple of people just to figure out which one we want to do. We're waiting on answers back and dates and times. We're trying to get someone in. If we don't, we're talking about the possibility of just grabbing a couple listeners that either we've spoken to before or some good listeners that we trust. And maybe we'll just get a big old squad.
Yes.
What's that, brother?
Yes, we got to get all these people to figure out. We got to do a round table. How are we going to book Mance, Blake, and all the GCW world title scene?
Yeah, so if we find ourselves with a guest next weekend, then fantastic. If we find ourselves without a guest to bring on the show, then we're going to bring in some fans and we're going to talk this shit out and find out what's going on. Because again, Game Changer Weekly is by fans for fans about GCW. And I think it would be fantastic for all fans to get their voices heard, be it in chat or maybe on the show here. So I'm going to keep everybody... Okay, I'm trying to figure out how much to talk here. Okay. Okay, guys. I have Effie's going to be over at my house this Saturday. So if we have enough time, he and I are going to maybe sit down and record an interview. It was something we spoke of. It's not something set in stone. It may be a situation where we do an audio release, or maybe I just do a video here. I don't know. We're not sure yet. He just told me he might feel like it. And if we do, to be ready so I can just pop on and go. I don't know yet, but that is what's going on right now. So Kev, I'm right there with you. Effie needs to come on. This is something that we are openly trying to figure out. I will also say, since we're sitting here, we're talking with Brett. We're trying to get a day and a time to get him to come on to the show also. There is not a performer that's a regular on GCW that is not on our radar. We're just going through each one by one until we catch them all. And then after that, we're going to fan out a little more. But yeah, as of right now, definitely we have a lot of people on our radar. We just want to make sure we get through the originals and regulars first and go out from there. But yeah, referees are included in that. I'd love to get Dan Perch on here very soon. There's also Scarlett, Chad Rico, Max Recon. I'd like to even maybe have a round table with just the referees sometime. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the works. Don't give up. We got a lot of good stuff going on. This is the smallest we're going to be, and we're going to just keep getting larger, and we're just going to keep doing what we can to interlace with GCW and bring more entertainment overall to the fans like us. So there we go. That's a long-winded answer, and that's what's going on. It is, holy crap, it is 2:20 on the East Coast. We got 832 people in here. So thank you so much to everyone who stopped in tonight. This was fantastic. Like I said, I will keep everybody up to date on our situation with a host, or I'm sorry, with a guest. And
damn, you're kicking me off on this one show.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
this one show. Yeah, a new host.
Dude, it's totally cool that you're back too, because it's nice to have that comfortable. Yeah, I can bounce back with you so quickly, and I kind of know how.
Thank you.
Work, so,
dude, and you killed it with Adam. Like you absolutely killed it with Adam there.
Dude, Adam was a great conversation for nerds who really want to know how the back behind the scenes kind of things work and how decisions are made. He was definitely a great conversation. If anybody has a chance, jump on YouTube, go look up Game Changer Weekly Body Slam and just put in Adam's name and it'll come right up. Highly, like, nerds will love it. Wrestling nerds will 100% love it. They will finally get to know a little bit about how these things work on the inside, how referees are chosen for certain jobs, things like that. So, wow. Yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah. Game Changer Week. We got GCW Plant Podcast. It was cool that someone mentioned the GCW Plant Podcast tonight. We are it. We are it. Yeah. We just basically changed names and changed platforms, and we're very fortunate that we've done this for so long. But if we aren't we're closing in on 100 episodes together, you and I. We're going to have to look that up. Also, in 2 weeks, I think you and I will have been together and broadcasted for 2 years. So that's also good.
Yeah, that one I knew was coming up here soon.
And I forgot my count, but I think we have done easily over 150 shows together. GCW shows reviewed easily. Actually, I think I need to look that one up real quick because it's an insane number that you and I have.
Actually, I think we're at exactly 100 episodes. Yeah, I think literally if we go
Are you
back,
serious?
We had 82, 83.
We had 82 minus 4. Minus 4 because I came in on show number 4. Stick with us, guys. We're going to figure this out right now.
78. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on here. So I was close to it.
Okay. So what's our number? I'm so tired. Is that 95?
78 plus 13.
78 and 13 puts us 91. Right? Holy shit, man! You're a teacher. We should.
I'm PE teacher, not math teacher.
That's true. That's true. Count balls
so
here.
I was about to say if I have 82 balls and I take away 3.
Oh my god,
we're getting there. 2 years. It sounds good though. I like the dates more than the actual show numbers.
Yeah, 2 years, and we'll almost be at 100 episodes in under 2 years. So yeah. And I was trying to find our first episode kicked off in July of 2022. Does that sound right? Backyard Wrestling 4. That's the one you went to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I look at this correctly, there is 188, and I have to take away Sorry, guys, this is so professional. I have to take away 20. We have done 168 total shows for GCW, and you figure at 9 matches a show. Yeah. So we've done well over probably 1,100 matches between you and I. We kind of know GCW by now.
8 listeners in a month to 831 in a night. That's crazy. 2 years.
Yeah, and we were 4 of those listeners between us and our wives
right?
most of the time. So, okay, yeah. So that's where we are at. We're doing fantastic. Thank you everyone for listening. Is there anything else you can think of before we head out?
Oh man, I'm tired. That West Coast weekend took a lot out of me, man. No, it was good. It was a very good West Coast weekend. I'm hoping to make the next LA show in August, and definitely, I'm actually planning Phoenix more than LA coming up here since LA is so soon. But I'm trying to make those 2 shows next time, and then, the way we ended the LA show with Blake gave us a lot to talk about tonight, and a lot more to talk about for the next couple of episodes. It seems like.
Yeah, thanks for Blake for coming in just for a moment and giving us just giving us a little glimmer of what's going on.
Once again, the platform, anytime you feel the time is to speak, you're able to hop on here anytime you want, Blake.
Yep. Yeah, the first thing I did, guys, is I shot him a message on Messenger. I'm like, dude, come in here if you need to come in here. And that's why he answered, I will speak in time. So there's a lot going on I'm looking forward to. That's it. We did it. We are talking ourselves into the ground. I think we are ready to roll. Yes. This is 3.5 hours worth of show. This is beautiful, man. It's like an old school show.
Episode. Yep. We went from old school GCW feeling to old school GCW plant podcast here.
Yeah, this was definitely a plant podcast episode. Yeah, 496 minutes of show, 27 matches.
Jeez.
Good night. Damn.
All right. Well, thank you, Biz, Kev. Don't Fret Citizen, Defender,
Bizzard,
Kev C, Biz, yeah. Frank, everyone. Frank, yeah, geez, Frank,
DJ
Raleigh,
Luda,
everyone that
Blake.
That was fun. That was another good episode. It does feel good to be back too. So,
damn right. All right, let's close it like we always do, brother. You ready?
Let's see how much the delay messes with us today.
Almost 850 listeners too. Long.
I'll try to get you on the
fucker.
On the lag, it didn't work out. 91. Good Lord. All right, here we go. Long night, Kev. Night, Biz.
Night, brothers.
Live.
Oh, we did that good.
Oh, that was a good one. G.
C.
W.
Night, guys. Take care.